Hello! It's Wednesday. Welcome back to Recall Knowledge, a show where Pathfinder enthusiasts play through your favorite adventure paths. I'm your GM, Steve, and I'm joined by Ricardo, Nina, Richard, and Tommy. I screwed it up, but that's fine. Go ahead, everyone, and say, howdy, cowboys!
Howdy!
Howdy, cowboys!
I'm just so confused. Thank you, Ricardo. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm glad someone knows I'm here.
Did I just screw it up that bad? Listen, we didn't stream last week because I was sick. I'm still partially recovering. I think my mind is like 75% of the way there. So if I got 75% of the cast right, I think we're on target. If you're tuning into us for the first time, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. We're happy to have you with us. And as usual, we are very proudly playing this on Foundry VTT, using the new premium Punks in a Powderkeg module created by Sigil Entertainment and Paizo. And and today, part 2, Cradle of Quartz, actually dropped the same day that the hardcover book launched today. So both part 1 and part 2 are now available for you to go pick up. I only had a few moments to look at it, but they did some really cool stuff in the second one. So I can't spoil it for you guys, but trust me, it's going to be pretty cool when we get there.
It's ready to go for anybody out there who's Punks in a Powderkeg speedrun any percent is already ready for part 2.
There are people out there that I've seen that have already finished like most of the module. I don't understand how, but that's pretty crazy. Tonight, actually, before we get started, we do need to give a shout out to our lead sponsor for the night, and it is the Rollsmith.
Rolling.
If you're not aware, the Rollsmith is the maker of awesome premium virtual dice for Foundry. They plug in for free to the Dice So Nice module and let you use cool dice even when you're not playing at the table. Wait a minute. 1 second, guys. It's a little unprofessional. I just got a call. It looks like the FCC is putting an emergency takeover of our stream right now. This is strange. I mean, I just got a message that says the CDC needs to address our audience directly. I'm not really sure what's going on. All right, well,
we do have a very large audience, so
if there is an emergency message that needs to get through, we are the channel most subscribed to.
We need 7 people to hear it right now.
Actually, I mean, apparently they've already connected to our video audio service. Joining us from the U.S. government, CDC Associate Director of the Department of Randomness, Dr. Samantha Rosenblum. Oh, I remember you, Dr. Rosenblum. It's nice to see you again. Is everything okay?
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be back here today. Unfortunately, it's not under better circumstances.
Oh no, what's going on?
Well, we've seen a record number of cases going on the rise recently, and we needed to come back and address your audience directly. Things have not gotten better since the last time I was here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, those COVID numbers are going up, and it seems like nobody's paying attention. It's kind of crazy.
No, you idiot. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about dice purchases.
Right.
Listen. With the reopening of in-person gaming conventions, more people than ever are going out and refining their love of dice. We are now nearing pre-2020 numbers, which is disastrous. At this rate, 13% of the US economy will be dedicated to TTRPG-related polyhedral purchasing by 2025.
Okay, but I don't get what the big deal is. I mean, people love dice. Let them buy their sets.
No, our infrastructure just isn't built to handle that. Sure, you start with 1 set, maybe 2, no issues there, but that addiction doesn't go away. It festers. Next thing you know, you're running out of storage space, giant dice bags aren't enough, you're down at the local hardware store buying total storage solutions and sheds for backyards. Your family's crying because the fridge doesn't have food. It just has the latest sparkly flower-infused Etsy dice made to look like Yashas. Next thing you know, you're working a second job, not to afford the dice, but to afford the rent on the storage unit you've taken out. You don't even have time to play with them anymore. Oh no. We can't risk scratching the precious dice, can we? You're backing 13 Kickstarters, salivating at the Dwarven Forge dice storage solutions, and researching if it's possible to replace the water in the waterbed with your dice to help drive down costs.
Okay, Dr. Rosenblum, okay. Are you doing okay? You sound a little unhinged.
What? No. Sorry. I get carried away sometimes, but the threat is real. We can't have people ignoring the growing danger of the situation.
Okay, well then surely there must be a solution. Is there something we can do?
Well, I'm so happy you asked. Well, if just 25% of your viewers switch to digital dice instead of physical, we could buy ourselves another 5 years to solve the crisis. And thanks to the Rollsmith, they can still scratch that itch without having a negative hit on the environment.
So, if you want to do your part to help the environment, head on over to therollsmith.com and browse all of their digital dice. Thank you, Samantha, from the Center of Disease Control.
Oh no, actually that's a different CDC. I'm from the Center of Dice Conservation.
Anyhow, thank you to the Rollsmith for sponsoring tonight's episode. Make sure to head over to pick up some awesome sets for you, your GM, and your entire table. They are the awesome dice you'll see us using here on the shows and our battle scenes, and you can add them to your Foundry as well. If you're in chat, hit !Rollsmith for a link to check them out. And thank you, Dr. Samantha Rosenblum, for your unhinged contribution to the show. All right, guys. I think that's gonna do it. Any other announcements before we jump in?
I kind of want to go buy some dice now.
We did wrong. No, that was the opposite message you're supposed to take from that. Huh. All right. No more stalling. Are you all ready to play some Outlaws of Alkenstar?
Yes!
Yeehaw!
I'm dead.
Let me
No,
grieve
you're not.
over
You'll
my
be dead in a
head.
second.
I'm dying too.
He's dying as well.
All right, viewers. Go ahead, sit back, relax, and players, let's jump into tonight's episode of The Outlaws of Alkenstar as we continue playing Punks in a Powderkeg, written by Vanessa Hoskins. Let's go!
Woo!
Yeehaw!
Welcome back. The camera starts off dark. Oh, wait. I need to set some mood music. The camera starts off dark. We cannot see anything, only hear the sounds of slurping. Sorry, my thing just got messed up. Here we go. Okay, thank you.
Slurping.
Mood music immediately followed by
The camera starts.
That's how tonight's gonna go.
Yes. The camera starts off dark. We cannot see anything, only hear the sounds of slurping. As the picture fades in slowly, we see a Rust Ooze come into focus. That sounds really loud in my ears.
The slurping? Ah, God, why? What's wrong with you?
Underneath its slimy body, we can see it has surrounded Wybert, slowly undulating over the robotic companion as it lies toppled in a small pool of stagnant water. We can still see Wybert's face, its singular ocular point staring back at us uncomfortably, the normal focusing of its lens gone. As the ooze shifts its position, we can see it leaving rusting marks on Wybert's surface, where it has begun to dissolve the little robot. It sits still as the camera stays locked on its face. We suddenly have a smash cut, and we see another face. This one is bruised, blood trickling up the forehead and into the silvery white hair of Halbrent. The camera pulls out slightly, and we can see he's lying on his back, breathing slowly, but still unconscious. And as the camera pulls out, we can see the nubs of his studded leather armor starting to rust away, where minutes ago the Rust Ooze assaulted our outlaw. This camera continues to slowly pull out, and we see Saruk standing over Halbrent, his weapon stowed on his back. A strange mace firearm hybrid is also clearly showing damage. And Anita sitting here bending over Hal, working her healer's tools to try and heal the old man. Ruficule stands, staring over the puddle and the ooze, helpless to do anything to help Wybert. Not far away, we can hear the raised voices of the shield marshals, working to clear the debris to give them access to the scrapyard. There's a quick shot of the bag hanging on Anita's side. Inside, the contents of the entire safe vault tucked away within your bag of holding. Our outlaws need to find a way back home, avoiding the shield marshals. The sewers, accessible from here within the scrapyard, is their best bet to freedom and a successful payday. The first step towards the revenge they so desperately want to dish out. We can see in the distance a collection of goblins watching with interest, from a safe distance, whispering about longshanks amongst themselves. They casually munch cockroaches like popcorn. And with that, our outlaws come back into focus.
So, with all of that happened last time. I think once there's a second to catch our collective breath, Saruk is going to make his way back on over off the ruler tool into the move the token. I would like to clamber up into the crane. Does anything try to feast on me as I do so?
Yep, so Saruk leaves the sort of side where Anita is working on Hal and meanders over towards the same, I guess it would be called like a crane, right? It's a rusty crane. The gearbox is open. You guys successfully worked it to move the box in the first place. Because you figured it out, you know, this isn't even an issue for you. You just got determination on your face. You sit down in the controls and start fiddling with the rusty stuck gears and take control of the box or the crane arm. What is Saruk like to do?
What he would like to do is, assuming this thing can reach as far as I'm hoping it can, I would like to turn this fucking thing about 90 degrees to the right, at which point I would like to drop this very large box onto the Rust Ooze, please.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? You picked it up from, like, over the Rust Ooze, like, where, because it was right at the end of this puddle is where it was blocking before, and you picked it up before and swung it over this little Rust Ooze lake back towards the entrance and kind of blocked part of the entranceway with it. So you're able to sort of get that crane arm back over, pick up the box, and kind of hover it right back over the top of the lake, and right where the Rust Ooze is currently, like, just going to town on Wybert.
At which point I will just press the button and drop the thing on it.
Yep. You press the button. There's like a little glitch as the sort of arms are like stuck. and it hangs for just a second, and then it comes free. The giant box tumbles down, and just with no sense of awareness of what's happening or what's coming, the Rust Ooze just continues to devour Wybert, and the whole box just lands on Wybert, on the Rust Ooze, hits right on the side, crushes the Rust Ooze, and you just basically watch as the waves ripple from the center of this lake out, and there's no scream, no agony, but the Rust Ooze is just completely like smattered into like hundreds and hundreds of like tiny bits of gel that fly in every direction. And Wybert sort of catches the end, and I think one of his arms gets ripped off as he gets skittered and shot over to the side, and unceremoniously like sort of bounces off some of the scrap metal piles and just comes to like a rest on the north side of the scrap. And all
right,
for
Bieber.
sure.
Yeah, right.
So I'll move this box.
I'm just gonna go over to Twitch.
Yep, and right where that happens, right, you kind of hit the box right to hit this thing. It kind of hits the middle of the lake. Underneath, there's this heavy metal grate that has been stuck and filled with all kinds of like oily rags and such that like kind of holds this lake together. And as the grate hits that, or as the box hits the middle, it kind of clips the grate and bends it down inward, frees some of these rags, and you just watch as the lake begins slowly sort of draining.
Not bad, Tusks. I was going to say, next thing you should do is drain the lake, but you got 2 for 1.
2 rocks with 1 stone. And Srook will make his way back, set his mace on the ground, and see if I can do anything to repair the damn thing.
Yep. So, we
I'd still
basically
like to perform treat wounds on Hal, just to wake him up.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give me that medicine check?
Medicine. Woo!
The camera's getting really bad
The
right now.
20.
Perfect. Then you can either, I think that's 2d8, and you can treat for a whole hour and double the amount you heal if you'd like.
Yeah, 18 for you, Hal. I'll spend the entire hour.
Okay. Yep. So you spend an hour. It's going to be an hour of you guys kind of sitting here, tending Hal. But Hal, you go ahead and heal 18 hit points from Anita sort of, working on you. Which gives a little bit of time for like Reficule and Zaruk. And technically Hal unconscious for about 50 minutes of this hour, like just being treated. But yeah, what would you guys like to do in the meantime?
First thing Reficule's going to do is going to go search around and make sure that ooze isn't reforming or anything. Maybe check if it got flushed down the drain.
Yep. So you go ahead and look for the ooze, look for any signs of the ooze. I think you see bits of it sort of floating in the water. It looks like maybe it was smashed to pieces, and whether or not each individual, piece can sort of survive on its
Just
own or
created
not,
billions of them.
it's hard to say.
Oh no, splitting.
Yeah, but very slowly you're watching as all these pieces are being sucked back down this drain, at least, and being flushed away.
I just want to make sure that it goes all the way down. So
I think there's like, as you like follow, there's like one sizable chunk that's still, it's maybe the size of your fist. It's like flopping and undulating right on the rim, and the water's all gone and it hasn't gone down the drain.
I'm gonna unceremoniously take my boot and kick the rest of it down the drain.
All right, you waffle stomp the rest of the slime down the drain. Stomp, stomp, and there it goes. And as you do that, you kind of pull your boot back, and it looks like some of the sort of cloth that has blocked this drain gets caught on the edge of your boot, and when you pull it back, and you catch in the moonlight a little glint of like magical like energy like stitched in to the cloth itself.
I'd like to take a closer look at that.
For sure. So I'll go ahead and reveal this loot token for you.
Loot token.
It is a loot token, the drain rags, and you can go ahead and add these sewer drain rags to your character sheet.
That's a strange place for loot, but alright.
Yeah, there are dozens upon dozens of rags here. This one that caught your foot seems to stand out, and it's the only one that is infused with this magical energy.
It looks a bit cleaner than the rest, I take it.
Yeah, it like cleaned off much easier than the rest for sure. And in the it's just normal like long bandage, but it's like got this very ornate sort of blue thread that glows like sewn into the lining of it.
Alright. Refugee would probably, as Annie's treating Pal, just go take a look at Wybert. I know she'd want to, but she's a bit busy, so.
Yeah, and so you kind of shuffle over towards Wybert, and one of Wybert's arms completely gone. Probably his left arm is just gone, ripped off the socket. It's probably lying under that box over there right now. And the rest of him, it looks like 80% of the remaining surface of Wybert is just covered in like rusted like material. Like parts of it have eaten through. It's mostly intact. He didn't have much time to be completely devoured, but he's had severe damage, and there's no response in that face. That normally expressive face, just dead.
Just gonna kneel down. Try to write him up as much as I can. You did good, boy. You did real good.
No response from Wybert, unfortunately. And the camera kind of drifts back over, and we see sort of Saruk and Anita and Hal. And Hal, you're back to consciousness at least.
Oh, Angelique, is that you? Oh, I'm sorry. Anita, what happened? Did your robot get me?
No. You tell me. I couldn't see what was happening. I just heard you go, ah! And the next thing I knew, Refi was bringing you back in. Saruk was also running back. Do you tell me?
Reficule was pulling me out of there?
Yeah.
Kidding.
No.
Maybe I got him all wrong.
Hang on a
What
second.
else?
Don't stand up too quick.
All right. Damn, this junk. Just chew on it.
Saruk, are you okay?
You look
Need
up and
some
Saruk
healing.
is trying to bandage himself up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, go and give me that medicine check as well.
No, I think it was
Pretty good.
an ooze. Do you remember an ooze?
From that dirty water, something came out, just flew at me, and before I knew it, I was back home in the darkness.
Back home? Okay, we could talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, we got our asses beat, to be
Yeah.
quite frank. Wybert's, he's there. And then Anita walks away at the mention of Wybert. Because she's trying to fight back tears. It's so sad.
Yeah, that 21 is definitely a success. So that 10 healing, not bad. You want to
I'm
double?
gonna double it as well. Yeah.
Yep, spend the hour. That works for me. So we kind of just, fast forward into like the hour that you guys have passed each other up, and Wybert's kind of been dragged back over. Or did you leave it there? Or are you bringing it back, Refi?
I'd bring him back over to the group.
Yeah. Let's ask. It is, because I default to saying with the name Wybert, I think like masculine, but is Wybert a him or is Wybert just an it?
They?
I've been saying, yeah, him. So he's,
Him? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
What the
check
hell
it.
happened to your robot?
I can't really talk about it. Maybe they could. I don't know. He
Reficule, what
tried
happened
to
to
help.
her robot?
She told Wybert to stand in between us, standing in between you, that ooze.
You're kidding me. She told me you pulled me out of there.
It was a bit of a group effort. But wasn't just gonna leave you to rust now, was I?
I mean,
Where am I gonna get my cigarettes from?
like they're wet. You want to? I mean, you could probably light them up, but they're magical. Miss Mendoza,
Yes.
can I? I mean, does it work? He looks terrible.
I mean, I have to look at him. I think so. Maybe if the core's still working, maybe I could.
He's a bit
We got all
banjanged.
this. We got all this stuff around us. This scrapyard. Can we patch him up with scrapyard? I mean, if it's true that your robot saved me, I mean, I'll give you all the money I have to help rebuild him.
Oh,
I insist.
it might take a day. I'm not sure on how soon Phoebe wants the job done. So we could try.
I mean, we already done what we said we were going to do, and then Angelique and the shield marshals can't get back in here. So maybe we take some time right now and do that. We're not in a hurry, and it doesn't look like them Knowles are coming back, and I feel like hell.
In the worst case, if they decide to come now, we have a choke point. Is that the worst idea? I can
I think,
look over at the scrap. I could try to help.
I mean, we've blocked off Angelique and her lackeys for now, but I thought we were trying to make a quick getaway, and we made right bags of that. So we've already been here an hour trying to get everyone patched up. I don't know if we could spend much longer.
I mean, if they haven't got in through here by an hour, they're probably not going to be able to get in through here, or want to get in through here. I mean, you literally just stole all their money.
Exactly.
I mean,
How
we
do you know Angelique?
I know her a little bit.
Do you think she'd quit after just an hour, knowing that we're right here?
I think she would be here well within an hour if she could. She probably can't get in here. I'm just saying.
I will say you
hear
do
them.
think
I'm hearing them
back, and you do remember that they previously were searching for you with airships. So it is something they have in their sort of wheelhouse. Obviously, they don't have it here and on them, but it wouldn't take that long to get an airship here if they needed to. As far as your Wybert goes to Anita, as you look over the damage of Wybert, even though it's hard to look and you don't really maybe want to deal with that trauma right now, he's definitely quote unquote broken. And you need a proper sort of workshop to potentially be able to put him back together. And you think to do it right, it would take a full day of work. But you think that you might be able to, if you have the proper tools, a proper workshop, be able to try to do a haphazard repair to get him up and running. It's a dangerous sort of thing that could potentially deal permanent damage to Wybert if you fail. But in the short term, it might allow you to get him up and running again.
What's the name of the inventor lady that was here? On my notes.
Ozzy? Oz?
Monzi.
Monzi?
Monzi. Was
Do
close.
you think
Been
she'd
a
have a
while.
workshop? It's been a long day.
There were talks that Monsi had a workshop further in the scrapyard.
Oh, fuck. No, I mean, I know that the matters are pressing. What if we sit down a little bit and talk about it? Because one, Hal's banged up. I couldn't help so much without Wybert. Taruk's banged up as well. I don't know what else is going to face us if we head in deeper into the sewers. They already said that there would be no's, and if we're not 100%, if we almost died with a fucking ooze, I'm not sure if we could really survive the no's.
Sort of nods.
I mean, the ooze seemed very... Well, I don't know how to say it other than oozy, right? I mean, if I shot that thing, it'd be like shooting a puddle.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
shooting a
mean,
knoll is a bit more substantial.
yeah, but remember, the gnolls like have these weird like mana wastes properties in them. So what if they're also like oozy?
Well, when I look over to make sure none of the goblins are nearby, I said, I mean, technically we just have to get by the gnolls, don't we?
I know, Ruffy. They're pretty banged up, and I've had a long. I just got off prison.
I look over at Hal and Saruk, who probably after an hour look a little bit better than I do.
I could help patch you up a little bit.
There's a few scratches here and there.
Oh,
I won't say no.
oh, alright. I thought you were gonna say no. I was gonna say shut it.
I learned a long time ago not to say no.
So what do we think? Should we stay and maybe we could get to know each other a little bit better?
That's a fine idea. And I'm going to help you build your robot, even if I have to finance it with my zero money.
What do you think, Tusks? That was a pretty bang on idea you had with the crate there.
Sometimes we have to improvise. If we want to stay here, we can. I won't say no. Anita, do you have any... I'm sorry, I don't mean to put too fine a point on it, but holds up where the mace is pitted. I lack the tools to fix this, but I could theoretically borrow ones you were carrying.
Oh yes, of course. And then I hand him my repair kit.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna try to fix this mace multi-pistol.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and get the like sort of repair kit out. It's probably like, you know, one of your more mobile repair kits, right? It's got the bare minimum that you would need. An 11's going to be a fail, but it's not a critical fail, so it's not damaging your mace pistol, but you spend 10 minutes trying to sort of like repair it and, you know, to no success. You're not able to, you know, buff out some of the rusting, I guess.
10 minutes later, Saruk curses in Orcish, and we'll just continue trying until something breaks, I guess.
Until you break it or until it does it, yeah. Also, Doc Nina in chat has given Saruk a hero point.
You're the best, Nina. I won't use it here. I'm afraid of the gnolls. Maybe I should use it here. God damn it.
So about like 20 minutes of like this repair work goes by. And you guys are talking and working. The rest of you guys have about 20 minutes of sort of exploration time if there's anything else you guys need to do mechanically, like, you know, patch up Ruffy he was hinting at or anything like that.
If I treat someone, how often can I do that in a day?
It's just once they get treated, they're immune for an hour.
Okay,
so
we'll do it for Ruffy.
Yeah.
All right.
The only one that has like a once per day thing is your battle medicine, which is once per day per character.
Okay. They'll move.
Steve, do you think a 30? God, I wish it was a 30. Do you think a 15 is a success?
I said don't move.
Oh, God.
That's a 6, so I'm going to use my hero point for that. I don't want to hurt my...
You don't want to hurt Ruffy? Yeah, so you can spend your hero point for that. I think the 15 is enough to sort of repair the damage that the Rust Ooze has done to you, and we're not tracking like actual hit points too closely because Foundry doesn't really support that, but I think with this 30 minutes of work, you've gotten enough like structural integrity back into your mace that you can consider it back to like fully healed.
Sounds good.
And your 17 is good for 12 points of healing on Reficule.
All right.
And I think, after about this half an hour time goes by, and Richard gave Anita a hero point in chat, so don't miss that one. So enjoy that. You can also give the GM a hero point chat if you want. But back sort of towards the entrance, the sounds and the toppling of like debris that's being cleared, it sounds like, the
That's
shield
what I was
marshals are
gonna do.
making progress. Yeah, you want to like mosey on over there to check?
That's what I was going to do with the other 10 minutes after Anita checked up on me. I was going to try to quietly go closer to that fallen tower and hear what I can to see how much progress they've made.
Yeah, you don't hear Angelique's voice anymore, but you do hear the voice of other shield marshals sort of chatting back and forth. One voice that you don't recognize, but the other one is a familiar voice to you. It's the same orcish woman that sort of you had a showdown with in an alley not too many months ago. And it sounds like he's trying to rush the process, but she's just like, I'm not gonna get tetanus for this shit. And like she's taking it very careful and not trying to like, expose herself to like a deadly disease just to bust through. So it's the duality of him trying to rush the job and her taking the time that's bought you. It sounds like maybe another hour or two before they would have gotten a path through.
And I just muttered to myself, they always come back to bite you in the arse, don't they? Thinking about the orcish woman. But I'll head back and...
For sure.
Right, so they're making a wee bit of progress back there, so I think we should crack on pretty soon.
Very well.
You come back, it looks like Hal has like left the group and made his way back to like the goblins. Is that what you're doing, Hal?
I was gonna go to sleep because I still feel like crap.
You kind of meander back towards the camp, and one of them looks up and sees how beat up you look and offers you like a rat on a charred barbecued rat on a skewer.
Dessert, perfect. I will take
It's
it.
not lizard.
You take it.
Where am I
but-
right now? Oh, I am there.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are over here, and Hal's kind of meandered back towards the goblins or whatever and gotten his meal. But yeah, what would you guys like to do next?
Right. Tusk, where's Hal?
I motion generally to where the sounds of crunching rat emanate. He was hungry.
Not a bad job you did on your mace there.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll hold. You're right, though. We should go.
Alright. Oh, I'm gonna leave for a bit. I just grab. Could he fit in this bag of holding?
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, he could.
Oh, Sir Ruffy, could you help me?
Right.
I'm just.
On 3 Tusks, ready?
Mm.
1,
Give it.
2,
3.
3, and I let Saruk do it by himself.
You actually give me a roll. I wasn't going to make you roll because that'd be mean, but Saruk does it with the 22. This is much easier than dealing with that 10 bulk like chest earlier in the night, and you just kind of topple like Wybert into the bag. And
Good job. Good job there, Tusk. Remember, lift with their legs. Lift with their legs.
You look down, Anita, and you like the mouth of the bag's open, and like poor Wybert's like lifeless single eyes just like staring back up at you.
You know, I've been through many versions of Wybert, but this one was actually important. So,
Is there a reason why?
he got me in Oblivion.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's too bad. I was gonna say something really terrible, but thank you and your robot for saving my life.
Of course, you never leave anyone behind.
And I look at Reficule.
And
Thank you.
as she says, leave anyone behind, I look back as I'm walking. Y'all coming or not?
I'm trying to prove a point here, Ravi.
I'll leave y'all behind, I swear.
Alright, so I'm going to, with this exploration mode, I'm just gonna have my short bow ready.
It's still
Okay.
And
nighttime,
I'm gonna
right?
s-
It is, yeah, because when I updated the module, it reset it back to daylight, so I just set it back to night.
So you might want to take out that torch again, Annie.
How am I gonna help y'all fight, y'all? I'm taking in your accent. Even your
That's
verbiage.
all right. I'll be here. I know your robot ain't gonna be ready for you, but I'll be here for you. So just stick by me, and we'll get through this junkyard,
Alright.
graveyard,
Okay.
scrapyard.
All right.
Refi will take point then.
I assume we're not trying to be quiet and we just want to move forward.
I was
Are we
going
ready
to.
for the nose in case?
Nope. But
Yeah. If you remember, where they also said that besides just the crate was one line of defense, they also toppled the entire airship. Remember, they're trying to collapse the airship to smash the knolls, and it didn't work right.
Oh.
But like, there is theoretically, and you look to the north, those of you that can see in the dark, and you see like over the top of the sort of scrap pile, which is about 10 feet tall, there is just above that by a few feet what looks like the shape of like an airship toppled to its side on the north side of that scrap. So there's at least one more line of defense between the goblins and the gnolls territory.
Ready or
well,
not.
Let's go get Mesra.
Monzi.
Monzi? Yeah,
Yes.
Monzi.
Sorry, I got hit in the head.
Sorry. He's dizzy.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can go ahead and push up to like past where the crate was, right? There was this massive 20-foot square steel box that now sits in the middle of the pre-existing pond with like the grate sort of busted there, giving you guys access to further in. And as you kind of come up, you know, you see it kind of opens up into like a T-junction, right? To the left, it kind of looks like the scrapyard sort of curves around to the north and then goes back to the westerly side, and you can see this leads to where this giant sort of airship would be blocking the path. And as you're kind of glance to the right, down to the south, you see the edges of what looks like you could call it a workshop, but it's basically like a couple of benches constructed from like crates and sheet metal, just like across the top of it, lining the area, and there's just crappy bits of tools everywhere, creating what looks to be some sort of makeshift workshop.
Anything over there think you need, Anita? Miss Mendoza?
Yeah, could I take a look? There might be a spare. There might be a repair kit in there.
Sure.
Oh.
So I'm going to move you back a little bit. As you guys move in and you're looking for some of these things, why don't you guys give me perception checks? Because you guys are looking for things over here.
Annie, looks a bit like your room.
Hey. 14.
Okay.
That's an 18 for Refi.
Okay.
11 for Hal.
Let's see what Saruk's got up his sleeve.
Not a lot.
Natural 1. Okay. So,
He's looking for Knowles.
yeah, as you guys move in, everything looks on the up and up. And what is it you're specifically looking for? Like, you notice right off the bat, like, there's definitely, like, a cobbled together repair kit, a cobbled together sort of set of alchemy tools. Like, against all odds, like, this workshop, which theoretically probably is Monzi's, looks functional beyond belief and potentially could, you know, it's not what you're used to at Blythe College, Anita, but everything you would need to build anything alchemical or mechanical could be found in this space if you stretch your imagination about what a tool might be a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And your mind starts working the gears, and you start looking for that. Everyone else is like looking for any sort of danger, Monzi, any sign of anything. Nobody sees anything, and the group sort of wanders towards that area. And in the back, Reficule, you notice something. You're the only one that picked up on this. It looks like there's something camouflaged on the sort of sheet metal surface, right? It's like crates with a set of sheet metal and a bunch of random scrap piled on. Within that pile of scrap, you notice the slightest outline of what looks like a creature, almost like a clockwork creature, and the head just like moves ever so slightly, looking in their direction. The other three look completely oblivious to what they're wandering into, but you've picked up on something there.
Hold on a minute.
Hmm?
Nobody move.
No.
Who's there?
you say that, right? And then like there is like this like shifting of the table and this like kind of dog creature, and I'll pop open what it looks like.
Getting a robot dog too.
It
Just
looks
stealing everyone's dogs.
It's this little robot dog, although this image is kind of what you would expect they would look like in like the sort of Alkenstar proper. And, you know, they're kind of known as clockwork hunters, and they typically are used to like hunt. They'll release these into the sewers to kind of hunt rats and keep the sewers clean and safe. But these ones are not as clean as this image shows, right? The legs and arm parts are like the wrong size and mismatched. Everything is like rusted and cobbled together from like bits of sheet metal. It definitely looks like these have been cobbled together more so than put together with like the government issued ones would be. And as you start calling for it, it like stands up and looks in your direction. And then in one of its voices, it just says, "Prime directive, destroy all intruders." And you watch as like on its back, this sort of like crossbow bolt thrower shoots up and spins in your guys' direction. I need you guys to roll initiative for me because we are fighting some doggos. But luckily you didn't walk into a blind ambush.
Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah, these aren't using stealth for their initiative, at least.
Yeah, let me make sure
Well,
I'm
for me.
using perception for mine.
Oh. What am I using? Stealth?
Perception. This is just straight
Okay.
perception.
Oh, man.
I could be mean and make you guys use your perception rolls that we rolled coming in, but I'll give you guys a shot because Ruffy called it out.
I'd like to use the roll that I use for my perception check.
Oh man.
Natural 1
Natural 1.
for 4.
All right, well, as these prime directives destroy all intruders, spin in your guys' direction, up first in initiative, Halbrent Beastwood, and you're in the front line too.
Would you say we have our weapons out?
I mean, I think it's reasonable that you guys would be traveling with weapons. When you guys are traveling in dangerous territory, what would your default sort of be, right? Last week it was argued you wouldn't have your weapons out. But in this case, since you've already fought something, I think you would know to have your weapons out, right? Plus,
Yes.
as soon as Refugio says, "Oh, there's something over there," I would make sense that you would have drawn your weapon out. So I will let you go into this with whatever you guys want in your arms.
So I'll tell Anita to get back. There's some doggos. And I will hold an attack if it comes within range, particularly if it comes towards Anita. I'm the new robot, Halbert.
Okay. Just to reiterate the description, it got a crossbow bolt launcher on its back and aimed it in your guys' direction.
That's not good either. Oh, hell. I didn't die once. I won't die again. Maybe. I'd like to move up
Okay.
and make a strike with my long sword at this creature.
All right. Give me that attack.
Using, well, I missed.
13 is a miss.
I'll take a map on my last action, map 5, to strike it with Snagging Strike.
All right. Snagging Strike.
Well, geez.
15 total is still going to miss. So you try to like snag it in some of the gears and it just kind of deflects off the sort of armor plating it has. You can't find any kind of purchase on it.
My turn.
Okay. These things get to go next. So the one that's right in front of you, you can't shoot his... I mean, I guess it could shoot his crossbow at you.
There's no rule in Pathfinder where monsters and players tie in initiative. Players go first.
If you tie, monsters go first in the system by default.
Damn it.
Scouting
A
would
lot of
break that tie.
13s.
Yeah. That is a lot of 13s. So actually, it's going to do this. The one right in front of you is going to use an ability it has called Skirmish Strike. It's a 1-action ability. So it first strikes with its leg at you, Hal. Oh, that's a 19 on the dice for a total of 27, which is a critical hit, I believe.
Critical hit.
Okay.
Yep.
This is why the GM doesn't get hero points, people.
So 6 points
He
of
doesn't
damage
need them.
on a crit. And then it steps. It like basically hops back. It like steps down off the like the gear, and it like shifts over to like this pile of the garbage that it's on. So it's a little bit further away. And with its second action, it shoots at you with the crossbow launcher with a multiple attack penalty. Oh wait, I gotta reload it. Okay. Multiple attack penalty on the crossbow launcher. That's 16. Just misses. And with its third and final action, you watch as it like the little like crossbow launcher it has. There's no arrow in it. It like goes down into its body, and you hear some clanking, and it comes back up with a new bolt loaded.
Gotcha.
All right, this one over here, it looks at you, Hal, and it uses 2 actions.
Well, there's 2 of them.
There is 2 of them, yeah. It uses an ability it has called Target Weakness. So it looks at you, and it's got all these scanners, and it like outlines your body, and it starts doing beep 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 beep. It's calculating your weakness. It's basically gonna make a strike with a +1 bonus on its roll, and the strike gains the deadly D4 if it actually hits you. So let's see with its third action if it actually hits. Oh, gotta reload it. +1. So
It's 1 action.
yeah, 2 action for the target weakness, and then 1 action for the attack. So this will be all 3 of his actions. Natural 1. So it like targets your weakness, and it does all these calculations, and then on the screen from its eyes we just see like error, and the bolt just like flies off in like the completely wrong distance. You can see like one of its eyeballs is cracked, and it was not built right, so it's got like double vision. It picks the wrong one. The bolt just flies completely in the wrong direction. All 3 actions were used on that one strike, and that is their turn. That brings us to Ruffacule.
Alright. Ruffacule always walks around holstered, but free action during initiative, I draw my gun.
Right?
First action, free action, 10-foot step.
That's right. 10 paces.
10 paces. And then I'm going to target the one that actually hit Hal,
Okay.
and I'm going to use cover fire.
Ooh. Okay. So the target has to decide before you attack whether it will duck out of the way. And it takes a
+4 bonus to the
yeah.
attack. Or if it doesn't, but it takes a -2 to its next range attacks.
Right. If it doesn't duck, you get a bonus on the attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just look at this thing real quick. This thing is not smart enough to make a decision, so it does not actually take any sort of cover. It gives you a +1 bonus on your attack roll.
Alright. Circumstance +1. That's a 22.
That's a hit. Hit, but not a crit.
Hit but not a crit. Right. That's 4 points of damage.
Okay. It takes all 4.
Alright. I'm going to use Raconteur's Reload, targeting the other one with a, I guess, a deception feint.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll do anything, but
it's
we'll see.
mindless, so it's immune.
Right.
I think, right? Does your feint would have the mental trait, I believe.
Yeah. So, and you know what? I just do it more for show because Refi actually, when I first see these things, I actually almost take a step back first in fear, but not really fear, but in recognition. But I'll reload, and I will aid Saruk with his attack.
Okay.
Wait, no, I wouldn't be able to feint because it's immune, right?
Yeah, it's immune, so you have to come up with something that can affect a mindless creature with your aid.
I wouldn't be able to shoot it, right? As a feint, like actually shoot it.
I can allow that, yeah.
Like not to do damage, but to just
yeah. Your aid roll will be an attack roll, but it will fire your shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I'll do then.
Okay. Very good. Well, that brings us to Saruk.
You're up, Tusks.
Dare I say, untap, upkeep, devise a stratagem. Targeting the one down at the bottom.
Devise
Okay.
a strategy?
I don't think I want a 12, so rather, from where I am standing, do I have a clear line to the one back here?
Because it's standing on top of the stuff, there's no, there's not getting cover from any of that stuff, yeah.
Nice. So then we will, instead of shooting one, realizing we don't have the line, turn and pregnant pause, fire.
Alright, so the Refuel is aiding here. So Refuel, if you want to make your attack roll, DC 20 to aid.
Alright.
Very much trying to make it say that my gun is loaded.
Ooh, I'm going to use a hero point.
Hero point on that? Okay, let's hero point that so that way you don't get in the way of Saruk's. It would hurt and not harm, right? Or not help. So let's hero point that.
Alright.
Just accidentally shoots me in the foot.
The natural 20. The natural 1, sorry. Rerolled to a 14. Still not enough to actually help. So the
but
shot...
at least it's not a...
It's not a critical fail. So the shot does not aid. Saruk can go ahead and make the attack as per normal.
I'm just pressing a bunch of buttons so the thing can read that my gun is loaded. It is not reading that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Help, Dad. I don't know how to load my gun.
Yeah, I just assume between every combat it's just load, right?
Like I'm pressing the reload button and it is giving me the mace multi-pistol. It's not fully loaded when I hit reload.
Interesting. It looks loaded now.
I'll try again. I'm getting the same. I'm just gonna roll the thing in here.
I wonder if
Are
you out of sync or something?
Alright. 6 with this anyway.
Yes,
and
6.
then third action, spin the barrel and pass.
Alright, so spin the barrel, pass. Maybe hit refresh on Foundry and see if that resyncs it or something, because it looks loaded on my end.
There.
Alright, Anita.
Alright, so for my first action, I couldn't see anything. So I'm going to throw my ever-burning torch right here. That's 20 feet, I believe.
Okay, so you interact to throw the torch out 20 feet.
Yeah, so would I be able to see... Oh, perfect. Ah, there you are. For my second action, I would actually, using my crafting, do a recall knowledge to see if they have any weaknesses that we could exploit.
Of course, go ahead and make that crafting check or engineering lore. I don't think you have the engineering lore, right? So you go ahead and make
academia.
Yeah, you can take crafting.
Ooh, that will be 21.
21. So the things that these are most weak to is both electricity and calcium. I can never know how to say it. Orochi calcium or calcium.
Or a calcum. We need electricity or a roach.
Right. So aurora calcium, which is a different certain type of metal that would help to get through. Those are 100% the sort of things that would help you be weak to. Other than that, it's immune to anything mental, healing. You can't non-lethal it, poison, all of that. But you do remember, you've studied these a lot, and you've made Wybert not have some of these flaws, but these are very obviously just clockwork creatures. With they function by being wound up, right?
Mhm.
So you could easily move up to one of these and attempt a sort of check to disable any of the clockwork creature with a crafting check. It's a disable a device check. It takes 2 actions, but if you're next to them, you could just completely shut it down. It doesn't kill it, it just turns it off.
Can you use thievery for that as well?
That's a good question.
I think I thought I read something about that.
I think thievery makes sense too. Yeah.
All right. It's a fraction. It's an action to point out, right?
It's an action to point out if like something's hidden and you're mechanically revealing its location to people. But if you just want to say what you learned, that's fine. I'm not going to charge you an action for that.
All right. I say everything, and then I would head to this fella right here. That's right next to the benches. Oh wait, no, I don't have enough. 35 feet. It's not enough. Is my bow loaded?
Is it a crossbow or it's a short bow, right? Short bows don't need to be loaded. You just fire as part of the attack action.
All right. So for my third action, I would try and strike this fella.
Okay.
So that would be, let's go, a 14.
14's a miss. It just kind of bounces off the armor plating and skitters off to the.
Fortunate. That's the end of my turn.
All right, top of the round, Hal.
You can unwind them.
All right. I think I'm gonna move over here because it's the same as moving right next to the thing. Well, not jump on the table, but I'm gonna get right there and I'm gonna swing at this creature right here with my sword using a snagging strike.
All right, go ahead and snagging strike.
Snag that strike.
You know what? I'm gonna use a hero point because
come on, you guys gotta get a good roll here one of these times, right?
Mary
Hero point,
Chrysler.
hero point.
You gotta say it.
Thank you, Rollsmith, for your awesome.
I've got the
dice.
move done.
All right, well, you increased it from a 17 to an 18. An 18 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage, and you snagging strike him.
That's 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Hurts it quite a bit, and you sort of like hook it and use your free hand to knock it off balance. It's now flat-footed.
Flat-footed until the start of my next turn, or it leaves my reach.
Mm-hmm.
That is my action. I think I'm gonna map attack it.
Okay. Give it
Doing the
another
same kind of thing, but it's flat-footed now, so I can hit it. 15, I miss.
15 just misses. Yeah.
So close to natural 20.
That's my turn.
All right.
Here's where I die again.
All right. There's one back here that has reloaded. Spins. You know, it looks at you, Hal. It spends 2 actions to. We see the outline. Do. Right. It does its target weakness on you. First 2 actions, it gets a +1 circumstance bonus, a deadly D4 trait on the strike, and it attacks.
Does it have a manipulate action?
It's the one that's further away from you, so it's not in your
Gotcha.
Range.
Thank you.
Yeah. The one where if it was shot you point blank, it would absolutely have that trait because the range attack at a point blank range. All right, let's hope for another natural 1. Oh, I forgot to add the +1 circumstance bonus. Okay. It's a hit. It's not a crit, so the deadly doesn't kick in and deal extra damage. You do take 4 points of piercing damage in the back.
All right.
And with its third action, it reloads. All right, the one that's next to you, you've snagged it, right? So...
Yep.
It does what it's programmed to do. It uses its Skirmish Strike ability. So it makes a melee attack against you with its leg. Wow, these rolls. It's a hit.
Is that a
Luckily, it's
manipulate
not...
action.
No, it's just a melee attack.
Damn you.
Yeah. So you do
Robots.
take damage from the leg, 1 point of damage, 1 point of bludgeoning damage. The leg kicks you, and then as you kind of reel like from the blow, it does step. It kind of hops down off the table and steps away from you. Because it's a step, it doesn't trigger the attack of opportunity. And then with its second action, you watch as the bolt launcher in the back goes down into its back, comes back up, and it reloads. And with its third action, it fires at you with the multiple attack penalty. Oh, that was almost a 19. Again, a critical miss. So with the glass eye is like showing the wrong Hal, and the bolt just flies off. You watch it, like hits the cabinet next to you and bounces off the like sheet metal like siding in like his cabinet, and you hear like a muffled cry and yelp from inside. And that's their turns. Reficule.
All right. So, do I have a clear shot to the one that's badly injured?
It would be going through Hal, so it would have a slight circumstance penalty or bonus to its AC for shooting through an ally.
All right. I am going to... Let's see. Move here.
Okay.
Would that give me a clear line of sight then?
Yes.
All right. That's one action. Second action, reload.
Okay.
Third action, I'll cover fire again.
Okay. It doesn't move, so you get the +1 shot, the +1 bonus to the hit.
All right. And it is flat-footed, correct?
It's not anymore because it stepped away from Hal, so it's not flat-footed anymore. The
Is
Snagging
that
Strike.
part of the thing? Or is that thought just till the end of his next turn?
Unless it moves away from Hal, which it did. Because it's
when it
stepping.
Ah. Tricky bastards.
Yeah.
Alright, I will fire.
The Snagging Strike doesn't prevent them from moving away, but if they don't, then they remain flat-footed is basically how it works.
Not yet.
Right,
Alright.
right. Not yet. A 17 is just gonna miss again, just deflects off the metal.
That's my turn.
Alright, Saruk.
Honky doke. So going into my theoretical third range increment, I'm going to devise a strat at the one at the bottom with an 18.
Oh shoot!
It'll be an 18.
I
Devise
think
that
I
strategy.
will. Seeing I don't have a line through Hal, I think rather Sir, let's go 2, 5, 10, 15. Stride to here for a second action and then third action. Bring a shield up.
Okay.
Right.
And that's me.
I think I'm going to take advantage of our amazing Rollsmith dice and change my dice out.
Changing the dice, that way you get the better
Maybe
roll.
we fucking need to.
That's how it works. Alright, Anita.
All right. Do I have a clear line of shot for this robot?
You
Right
do.
here?
Yeah, you do.
All right. So with my short bow, let's do this. Did it work?
12's gonna
oh,
miss.
I said 12. This is too far. You guys can bring them in. I want. Hey, let's have a party. 2 actions. I'm gonna get close to this fella.
Okay.
All right. P for target. No. Hey, boop. Boop. Boop.
Alright, you
That's
get
the
right
end
up
of
in
my
its
turn?
face.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, top of the round, Hal.
All right, I will step up to this creature.
I just keep thinking it's like a cha-cha between Al and the club.
Yes, it is.
A little bit, yeah.
Taking steps.
I will take a snagging strike at this creature.
Go for it.
I gotta target it so I can strike it. That's been the whole
Look at
problem
those
is
shiny
I've been
dice.
targeting it. That's a 21 to hit.
That is
Yeah.
a hit.
Alright, finally. Maybe it'll break
That's
our
12
curse tonight.
points of damage. I like this color.
You smash through it, and the whole like kind of thing, like the little bits that have been
Damn.
holding it together, it busts apart. Some of the legs pop off. Its eye like shoots out of its socket on a spring, and like you just watch as like the bolt launcher disconnects and tumbles to the ground. That Clockwork Hunter is dead.
I would like to try to hide because we're in dim light or darkness.
We are. Yes, we are. So you have that skulk. What is it called? Skulk?
Slink.
Slink. So you can go ahead and make that stealth roll just by being in the dim light. Actually, you're not in dim light because the giant burning torch on the ground next to you.
It's over here, right?
She tossed it right. That's true. So it's what? It's 20 feet of bright. Let's measure.
I'm still in the light.
You're just right in the edge of it, yeah. If you move
And
over
I
here and
take cover behind this thing.
Oh yeah, you can take cover for sure. You kind of duck down at the edge. You take cover at the edge of that. We'll go ahead and give you your cover as you duck behind the thing. Okay, well one of these is dead. The other one,
Annie, what the hell are you doing up here?
I'm fighting. Why but in there? No, I'm trying to disable it. I'm trying to disable it. Remember, we did this before.
I think the crossbow bolt, like it looks at Anita right in front, and then
Anita?
looks at Anita, who's like gotten in his face.
Nina. Next character.
Nina.
Yeah.
I guess
Look,
it will.
it's a Nina.
It uses its ability to. It's going to do a skirmish strike on you. So, first thing is a melee strike with its leg. It's going to kick at you. That's a 12. Whew. Dodge out of the way. It steps back away from you and gets into the last bit of space it has. I guess it can step down here. So it'll step down this way, away from you, and then with its second action, it reloads, and with its third action, it fires. You have cover from the table because it's not on top anymore. So I'll give you your lesser cover, and it makes a multiple attack penalty strike against Anita with a 12. The bolt goes over the top of your head, and you are safe. And that's all 3 actions. All right, Reficule.
Bloody hell. All right. Move up to it.
Yep, you kind of move around. It's a little bit difficult terrain to get through there, but you have enough movement to make it get there.
Do I have to have tools to try to disable it, or can I just try to fiddle around with its gears?
It does. Let's double check it. To use disable the device, you do need. You do need like these tools, but you can, because you have them on, right? You can draw them as part of the thing because you're wearing them, I believe.
Am I? I don't think I have a bandolier.
Bandoliers aren't actually a thing anymore. You just can have like a set of tools you wear on you at all times. They kind of errated out bandoliers. So you could just have like one set of tools accessible on you at all times.
All right, yeah, then I'll do that.
So you keep it in close reach, dig it out, and you can use 2 actions to make a... Are you doing thievery or are you doing crafting?
Thievery.
Thievery, okay. You can go ahead. There's a thievery check. I put it in the chat. You can make that attack roll or just roll a thievery check if you'd like. A 12 is going to fail. So you dig in around it to sort of like look for the like off switch or try to disable the thing. And it's wiry and it moves around. You're not able to wind it down.
And I believe that's all my actions.
All right, Saruk.
Okie dokie, untap, upkeep, spin the top. Someone in the chat will get that
Strategize.
reference. I think I'm probably fine with a 19, you know? Sure. We're gonna... Oh, God. Am I fine with a 19? Heck, yeah, I will. spin the... Oh, well, I don't need to spin the barrel, do I? So rather, I'm going to stride to 5, 10, 15, 20 around the corner. Would a 19 hit this thing?
From there, you aim, you pull the 19. Yeah, the 19 hits.
Nice. Okie doke. So this, and then I definitely remember how damage works in Foundry. This should be everything, I think. 9 points of damage.
Woo, that's enough.
What?
So you come around the corner, you spin, like you have the barrel, it comes up, there's a blast, and as like Refugio's digging his hand around its back, instead you just blast it from the front. Its whole like head sort of like it's exploded, and luckily, doesn't hit Refugio, and the thing like falls dead, and like you look up Refi and you like lock eyes with Saruk as he's blasted it before it had its turn.
You didn't know I was back here, right?
I did. It didn't hit you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you calculated
Spins
it
barrel
like,
reloads.
you calculated it like in your
Strategize
mind
the
and
device.
stuff, right? But yeah, the ends, and then you hear like and like all the like it goes back quiet again here in the scrapyard as both of these things have been dealt with, and there's like a moment where you like catch your breath and kind of like look at each other, and then all of a sudden you hear like another banging noise coming from the cabinet right behind Hal and Saruk, like over this direction. You hear like banging, and everyone like spins their guns and attention into this thing as the cabinet begins rattling, and like something is inside, possibly like another clockwork creature, and the door flies open and out falls a little goblin woman. She tumbles out of the cabinet and she's sitting there. She's looking up at you upside down from the ground. You can see she's holding a jar of pickled juice with a single rat tail like floating inside of it. Hopefully it's pickle juice.
Yum.
And she's got like a pair of like 3D glass goggles on her head, giant red eyes as she like kind of looks up at you, and she's like, "You must be the Longshanks." And I think that is the moment that we cut to our break for the evening.
The long.
Whew, intense.
Why, yes, indeed, I am errant.
That just goes to show, like, if you can't roll higher than a 10, you're gonna have some hard times, right?
Funny how RNG works.
Right?
Gonna have a bad time. Okay?
That's like the best goblin art I've ever seen. I don't even know this goblin, and I already love her.
Yep.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, I'll pop it up and we'll share it with the audience after the break. But while we're at break here, go ahead and take this time to support us at Recall Knowledge.
She's so cute.
You can head on over to twitch.tv/Recall Knowledge to give us a follow. We also humbly accept your subscriptions. CJ, Phenomenally CJ, gave a 13-month resub at the start of tonight's stream. Phenomenally CJ, you're awesome. Thanks for supporting us and being here for our whole journey. If you have a free Amazon Prime subscription, kick it our way. You can support the show with no cost to you. Also, head on over to youtube.com/Recall Knowledge. It's a great place to catch our past shows and catch our future shows. Subscribe to stay caught up, and look for Recall Knowledge on Twitter, on your favorite podcast stream service, on Patreon. I mean, everywhere you can get our content, we're there to give you a way to catch up with our show. Yeah. Yes. No, CJ, you're awesome. So we will be back in 10 minutes with some more Outlaws of Alkenstar. Don't go anywhere. What time is it right now? It's 8:22, so we'll be back at around 8:32. Enjoy the clips while we are out of here. Be back.
Noodles.
Welcome back. You know what I realized while we were on break is that we didn't get any crits in chat during that fight, guys. The only crits in chat came from the GM, and nobody wanted to call out a crit in chat for the GM, right?
Nope.
Oh, well.
You've heard us enough.
I know. If you want to roll amazingly well, you too should use the Bloodstone dice by the Rollsmith, and it guarantees you don't roll lower than a 15.
Fucking
And
apparently.
your
That's why you
name
don't
should
give
also
the
not be
GM
Richard.
a hero point.
Yeah.
Or Ricardo.
No.
I don't need any hero points tonight. Give them to the players. They are the ones that needs your help, guys. So, as we fade back, we find ourselves sort of in this little workshop. Monzi the goblin has stumbled out of her little hiding spot in the cabinet after you've dispatched these, clockwork creatures, and she's like stands up. She has the pickled, hopefully it's pickle juice, full with like rat tail in it, and her other hand looks completely like grody, and she like kind of half-ass wipes it off on her like apron as she reaches out to like shake the closest hand to her.
I take it and I shake her hand. Are you Monzi?
I am. Yeah. Sorry about the defenders. I kind of made a miscalculation there. Just a small one.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. However, well, maybe if we announced ourselves, would you have told them to stop?
Oh, no.
Our buddy over here, he's bloody well bleeding again.
Looks around, Anita. Hal, I see you slinked off to like the shadows in the corner. Are you like hiding over there, or what are you doing?
No, I'm sitting on this barrel and leaning up against the scrap and got my head in my hands.
I think the term is pouting.
Got it. So she looks back and she says, No, sorry about that. I kind of built these, and I had a plan, right? I was gonna tell them that they need to kill the gnolls, and I was gonna sick them on the gnolls. So I turned them on, and it said like, insert command word, and I said, without really thinking about it, I just said, kill everything.
Oh.
And they said, command accepted, and then turned their bolts and started shooting at me.
Oh.
I'm sorry, can you repeat what they said again?
I don't think I can. I don't remember what I said.
All right.
You do know that you are included in everything, right?
Right. Yeah, in retrospect, yeah, that makes sense. But, I've learned from my mistakes. I won't make the same mistake again. I'm going to be great. But I've been hiding in there for about 3 days now. I'm down to one more rat tail. And you can see in the jar, it's just one rat tail floating in like the pickle. And she's just like, things are about to get dire here till you came along and saved me. Sorry about you. And it looks around at all like the bloodiness that you guys have on you, right? You know what? As a thank you, how about you help yourself? You can have anything in my workshop as a thank you. Everyone, anything you want. And she motions at the sort of like workbenches around here, and there's like alchemist tools, repair kits, snare kits, climbing kits, thieves tools, artisan's tools, all these kind of tools all around the workshop. And she's kind of like told you guys you have free access to go ahead and take anything you want, and I'll reveal this loot token as you can kind of peruse what she wants.
Ooh.
So was there any purpose for you to be hiding out here, besides this area being your workshop?
I mean, the nail gobblers are nice and all, but they're kind of knuckleheads. Sometimes a lady just needs some space to herself, you know what I mean? So I'll come out here, tinker with some creatures. She kicks like one of like the broken ones that you guys had done. I'll come out here, relax, invent something. It's kind of what I do. And as she's talking to you, she looks out of her corner and you just see Saruk like taking like a repair kit and putting it into the bag. And we see like crowbars being taken and shoved into like bags. And you start noticing like sweat beating down Monty's eyebrow, Anita, as she's like, you can see that she's like nervous.
Is it hot?
I mean, no, it's just, this is kind of how I make my livelihood, as you guys are like shoving everything into your bags.
But you offered.
I know. You saved my life. I owe you, but maybe instead, how about this? How about for everything you don't take, I'll make you something. I'll craft you like a little gadget or so, and you can take it with you. That'll be much more useful, right? And she smiles.
Can you make something where my friend here can see in the dark?
Looks like, nah, I mean, looks down, picks up the like ever-burning torch that's still at her feet. Here we go! Hands it over.
No. This so
No, that's fair. We could just, Annie, you can turn these things back on, right? I'm sure you'd be fine back on the cupboard.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No. We don't need to do anything like that.
hang on. I understand a fellow lady's needs when it comes to inventing. But also, to be fair, you did say that we could take anything.
Yeah, and for sure, I will honor that contract. Anything you want to take, it's fine. You help yourself too. Just, I guess I'll just starve to death down the line when I don't have any ways to make anything new. But if you have the kindness in your heart to leave me with some of my tools, I don't have anything that can help you see in the dark, but I've got other things and potions and things, and I can get you a healing potion, something to like help your wounds a little bit, or maybe you want to jump really high, or some extra armor. I got all kinds of tricks up my sleeve.
I'll put back the crowbar, the thieves' tools, and your dented linsetic compass with cracked glass for a health potion or two, please.
Okay. Yeah. So she's like, okay, yeah, health potions, yeah, great. Any other things? And as you put it back, she kind of goes and she kind of resets it very particularly. Like you put it back in the same place, but she comes over and shifts it just like a few centimeters exactly where she wants her things to be. And
if you're worried about starving, you could go talk to Lord Glass. There should be more than enough pickles there to get you all through for a while.
Pickles? Oh wow, like pickled rats, pickled pigs, pickled pig's feet,
Just cucumbers, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
They're organic.
Pickled vegetables. Well, are they good?
Saruk nods as he does so. Pulls 2 gold from his pocket. Just kind of like 1, 2 on the table. This should be about what these repair tools are worth, give or take.
And Refi turns towards God in the sky and says, I might have clicked the back button on VOD Ninja.
Awesome. So you lost your so what you're saying is you're back, but you just lost the new URL. Okay. Got it.
I was like, where is he going with this?
I thought you were just gonna take the money.
Like all of a
Okay.
sudden I'm like, wow, Refi believes in God. All of a sudden.
All right, let me fix you real quick there so we can get your beautiful mug back. Saruk, you gave how much gold for thieves?
2 gold.
2 gold for a set of thieves tools?
For the repair kit that I took.
Oh, the repair kit. Okay. All right. Let me just fix Richard's code.
God, I'm invisible.
I'm gonna get you to bookmark it, Richard.
Just did. I clicked the back button on my mouse accidentally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got you back. Now everyone can see.
I'm gonna give her the peppery frog leg jerky that Glass gave me.
Actually, you stole that from her stash in the compartment of the crane.
Oh, that's right.
So you're giving her back
I
her
found
own
something for you.
food that you stole from her.
Yeah. Here's a pickled sparrow eye in a tiny bottle, and is a peppery frog leg jerky.
That's actually a potion.
Oh, never mind.
Shakes the little
What is
thing. This is called a eagle. It's basically, a what does it do? It's a I mean, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's an eagle eye elixir, lesser eagle eye elixir.
Oh, okay, perception checks. I think. How about this leg jerky?
So let's see. Yeah, you get a bonus to perception checks when finding secret doors and traps when you have that potion. The leg jerky is a lesser leaper's elixir. That's why it's a frog leg. You eat the jerky frog leg and you can jump like a frog.
Oh, I mean, do you need it?
And the eyeball floating in the bottle is like an eagle's eye, and it allows you to. It's a sparrow eye technically. No. You help that. I can make more. You want more of those? and she's already working on an alchemy kit. And you just watch her throwing together some alchemy stuff. She's going to be working here for a little while to make your stuff. So Rook did take a healer's kit and give over the repair kit and gave 2 gold. Did you guys take anything else, or everything else is left?
I took a
Put
crowbar.
it all back.
I'm keeping it.
Took a crowbar. Okay.
I took the artisan's tools.
Okay, you took the artisan's tools. Okay. Yeah. So then she can craft alchemy stuff. So you took her artisan's tools. She can't use them, but she can do alchemy stuff. So I think she begins making some potions. I'm gonna pass out some interesting items to you guys that you can take.
Want to, Annie? You think you could maybe patch up Hal for a little bit while she's working?
All right.
To Hal, she hands you a bit of granola that looks like it's pieced together with like almost wrapped with like a rat's tail like bundle, and inside of it is crushed cockroaches. And she tells you, it's been soaked in an alchemical formula. If you eat it, it'll heal you up. You know, cockroaches can survive anything. Well, this will help you survive anything. And she gives it to you.
Yep. All right, good.
She comes over to she sniffs for a second. She goes, "Is that a lizard tail you have on you?"
It is more than one lizard tail I have on me.
Mind if I
Yes.
borrow one of those real quick?
Are you gonna eat it?
No. I'm gonna make something for you.
All right, here you go. Pull it out and hand it to her. You're missing out though. These are really good.
She takes one of your lizard tails, sniffs it. You see her like licking her lips, but the deal's the deal. She goes back to her alchemy kit and she starts like putting some more like splashes of concoctions together, and as she's like sticks your lizard tail into like a little glass vial and begins just pouring random concoctions as she continues working. And
Perfect.
yeah, she eventually gives you a lizard tail and a vial of oil, which she says will function as a gecko potion, which will help you climb.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
She goes to I think she goes over to Reficule, and she hands a syringe with a very rusty needle on the end, and inside is like a very oily sort of liquid. And she basically tells you that like this is the essence of a rat, and it'll like kind of increase your bestial tendencies.
Want me poke myself with that?
Yeah. And she's already gone back to making something else. And she kind of comes over to I think she comes over to Saruk, and she hands you a little potion. And this one was, I already dragged it and I missed what it was. It was I didn't make a fun thing for it. Well, anyways, it's a Quicksilver mutagen, a lesser Quicksilver mutagen. But I think it just has like basically like 8 rat's feet cut off and put in so that you can be faster.
Thank you.
And she's got one more potion, and she picks it up, and it looks like it's another bird's eye, and it's floating in gelatin. And she says, "This is similar to the one that you have over there, just a different eyeball." And she shakes it.
I mean, wouldn't hurt. Thank you.
Yeah, and then she makes enough because you left enough stuff. Everyone gets one more healing potion, and you can just add like a lesser healing a minor. What is it? Minor elixir of life? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Oh, is that what I gave you? The cockroach one?
Yep.
So a minor elixir of life. Everyone feel free to add one more of those to your sheet, and then as she's working, she feels herself sort of good, and she's and she kind of goes in her back pocket and she pulls out. She's got and she goes into her jar. She pulls out her pickled rat tail, and she makes one more sort of potion, and she hands it to Reficule. And it's a pickled rat tail potion that is. She tells you it'll help protect against like sometimes when nail gobblers cut themselves on some of these parts, it hurts them, right? And then, a few weeks later they tense up and they can't move, right? They just die. This will help with that. This will help protect against, those sorts of things. And she hands you something that would help protect against tetanus, essentially.
A potion of protection from tetanus.
Yep, basically.
So pretty much,
A vaccine.
I'll use this when I inject myself with the other thing.
Right, yeah. What?
An antidote.
She's so confused.
Alright, so do you
Right.
know what do you know about the gnolls?
Vicious, angry, like. No, we just.
Oh, we got that.
Yeah, like we just want to sit here. We want to live our lives, and we want to be left alone. We just want to, build stuff and build up Scrap City. And the Knoll showed up one day, and now everyone thinks we kill Longshanks.
But we're Longshanks.
Right? And are we killing you?
I look
Exactly.
at the rusty syringe.
Do you
Go
know
check
how
in
they
with
fight,
Lord
though?
Glass. He's worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
that's
yeah.
true. He is.
Did he send you to find me?
Yep. Oh, do we get a reward from going back there? Oh, we should go get it before we. Wasn't
think-
that little guy hiding something?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
true. I think so driving away the gnolls was enough for the treasure, and then I think there was no promise specifically for anything for Monty. Just talks of Monty and how they like Monty, but you might be able to, use this as leverage to get more payment.
Maybe once we clear out the gnolls.
So
Or
you
come
guys are here.
All
You're
the way
here
back.
to get rid of the gnolls, right?
Right.
So, I have this great idea. I toppled this giant airship right over them. It didn't work, Again, I made a little miscalculation and things didn't go quite right. But, you're going to have a hard time getting through for two reasons. One, the giant airship is blocking the path, so you're going to have to find some way over or through. Two, it's haunted.
Go on.
It's haunted. That's why it's called the Wailing Scrapyard, right? We heard it. Woo! Anyone that tries to get near the engine, doesn't last very long. So be careful.
Very well.
Can we?
And I'm
move
assuming
the
the
airship?
engine is directly just right in front of the path, such that we couldn't move past going around the airship without running into it.
That is correct. It is going from one scrap pile to the other. Although you could scale it. Sure, you have a climber's kit, right?
I look at the table.
There is a climber's kit. You watch as she's like slowly like taking her climber's kit and trying to hide it.
But we could
and
only
also-
climb over it.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I
I mean,
if we could move it. I think that's too heavy for you to.
unfortunately, the way we toppled it, it's out of reach from the crane. The crane can't reach far enough. We used the crane arm to knock it loose, but now it's out of reach for the crane. So unless you are strong enough to pick up an entire airship, you're gonna have a hard time moving it. Also, I guess theoretically, if somebody was able to get into the engine block and pick the engines to start it up long enough, you might be able to get it to drive far enough away for you to squeeze past. But again, haunted, right?
You get to fly an airship?
Oh, there we go. Decision's made. We're not going to be able to leave without getting on that bloody airship.
Oh, they're the keys. Oh wait, no, you said to fix the engine block. Oh,
Yeah, it's been out of operation for about 20, 30 years. Just scrap
Oh,
now.
I get to fly an airship.
They say the captain loved his creation so much that she infused her love into its spirit.
So what's she asking for? Another lover?
They say she cries for her lover.
She cried.
Only I
What's the
knew
name
his-
of her lover? Oh,
I don't know, if only I knew. But I know the name of the ship.
what is it?
The Harpy's Kiss.
Oh,
So
Wait,
if
was she
anyone
Illuminati?
is in this case, does anyone have either Alkenstar lore or piloting lore? I don't think so, but I just wanted to double check.
I'm pretty sure we all have underworld lore.
I have
Right.
academia lore. Could
Oh,
I
yeah.
have read some books in the library?
I have Alkenstar lore.
Do you really?
Oh,
Yes.
Awesome. So why don't you give me? I'll put a lore check link for you in chat. Oh, you know what? I might have added it to your character sheet to test something, but that's okay. You have
To test
Alkenstar
it?
lore now. You might have.
All right.
Now,
You have it
you
now.
have
That's
it
fine.
now.
And take a because you know the name, right, of the ship. You can take a +2 circumstance bonus to this recall knowledge check.
+2
We
add.
call that
roll.
knowledge.
Look at that. Oh, it's secret. You don't know what you got. I gotta hide that roll for so you guys can't look on stream. Anyways, you rack your brain with the name The Harpy's Kiss. You come to remember a story, an old-timey story that maybe old-timers would have told when you were a little younger, right? Of an old airship captain who commanded a ship named the Harpy's Kiss, and you're trying to remember what was his name, what was his name, or sorry, what was her name, what was her name? Winslow, and it comes to you finally, Farah Winslow. That was the name, and Farah Winslow is an old-timey captain who's well past her prime, crashed her airship, and never really recovered from the sort of loss of that ship. And so when the Harpy's Kiss went down, she didn't have her own ship anymore. She was forced to sort of pilot other people's ship, and she lost her prestige. And now she spends most of her time drinking away her sorrows in taverns around Alkenstar. She's still around. She's still an active airship captain in the city. But this, if this is true, what Monsi is saying, this would be Farah Winslow's ship.
Yeah, this is a Farah's ship. She sometimes goes to that bar where them shield marshals visit, kind of down on her luck. She's got, she still pilots stuff around. She's well past her prime, kind of, more sightseeing tours than anything. I mean, I'm not really sure you want to sightsee out on the man waste, but that's her ship. I wonder if you can fix it there, Anita, and we can give it back to her. Might be able to earn some favor with her.
That sounds like a plan. But do we really believe that? Do we really believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah, 100%. I do.
yeah, for sure.
Or those
No,
things
Monzi's
are
just
things-
nodding like, uh-huh.
All right. Well, I guess I have to see it to believe it, but I've never seen one.
Strikes me as wild that given the living waves generally in the direction of Alkenstar, not one person risen in undeath in your entire time here to haunt a place. Call it a silver lining. I'm ready if you all are.
I still feel like garbage, so I'm gonna drink these. These items.
Here, Hal. I'm not very hungry. You can take my granola.
Oh my good man. All right, I'm gonna use one of these. I'm gonna eat that one. You have it out for
All
me.
right. Crunch, crunch,
That's a-
crunch.
Perfect.
No.
You get 1 point of healing, and you get a little bit of cockroach legs stuck between your teeth. And maybe a little bit in your
Even
whiskers.
better. Whoops. Even better. All right. Now okay. Well, I guess we can go.
If you want to spend the healing, because Monzi had to spend some time making these potion stuff, you'd have a chance to do another healing check on how somebody
Another
would.
one?
Yeah, because you treat him for an hour straight. At the end of that hour, he was already eligible. It's from when you start treating wounds, not end. So he was already eligible right at the end of your last treat wounds.
I tried, but I failed. Drew, can you help me with that?
Sir,
Oh, I see the 14 there. Yeah.
gotcha.
Well, you guys spend 10 minutes trying, and you both are unsuccessful in healing Hal. So it comes down to the granola bites, I guess. Or you waste.
Tetanus and the crossbow bolt.
Or you can spend another hour here, knowing that every time that ticks by, the shield marshals get closer on behind you. 6, not bad.
That's a little better.
Well, hell, I'm just gonna eat these damn things because, I mean, they aren't as good as I kind of had to force them down. Stuff's kind of terrible.
Or
No point.
in an hour.
Can't eat 'em
I
when
can
you're
try
dead.
it again in an hour.
All right, I'm good. Let's go.
All right. I'll pick up my torch.
Monty just stands and waves and says, "Good luck." And then she kind of follows you guys a little bit and makes a look towards like the box and the lake and everything's gone. And as you guys are kind of walking away, you just hear behind like, "What the hell have you guys done to my house?" As she kind of walks over to like look at like what you've done to all her engineering.
Your house
I'm sorry,
got
did
it
you
full?
live in the box?
No. But like, I helped engineer the clog for that drain. Although, now that it's drained, I guess we could start with fresh water again.
True.
I just gotta. Yeah, no, a fresh start. That's exactly what we need. And she begins like kind of, her mind starts calculating ways that she can like repair the grate and kind of start a new fresh water source for the thing. Like she never thought to like drain it. She's just lived with it, right?
Can I
don't
get
know,
my
goblins.
torch again?
Yeah. So
God.
go ahead. All you need to do in your inventory is just put it back in your hand. I took it dropped, change it to held,
Okay.
and when you change it to held, it'll give you like Foundry.
Foundry.
Held. Oh, okay.
All right. So you
I'm
kind
gonna
of
stay
move
in the back here with you, Anita.
Okay.
Circle take.
Yep, you guys kind of come up, and as you kind of turn this corner, you see, obviously, it's not hard to see. Maybe Anita can't see it because she can only see like 60 feet, but looked like the moonlight cresting on the top. You see a once magnificent dirigible lying across the pathway of the scrapyard. The words Harpy's Kiss are scrawled in faded black paint along the side. It lies in a pile of scrap metal, leaning slightly starboard, blocking the path leading east to the west. And on the top deck, you see, sort of in the backside of the ship, exposed alchemical engine jutting from the planks, and you see like smoke just kind of hissing and rising. It almost looks like it's on, which makes no sense because it's not making any sound, but smoke is like hissing from the engine. And
And it's been broken for 30 years.
yes. And it's long, right? If you measure this airship from front to back, it's well over like 120 feet. And it goes so far that it like is like cutting the scrap pile on the north side, and you know it's blocking your path. Looking at it, Saruk, too, just with the way that there's railings and the top deck of the ship, it would be possible to scale this. It wouldn't be too hard. It would just be, you know, a climbing check that you guys could get up 10 feet over, and you could probably get up and over without issue. And Anita, you're eyeing the engine block that Monty told you about, and you're pretty sure that given the state, like if you're going to repair this to fly, this is like a very long-term project because this thing is well destroyed and the engine probably needs a lot of work, let alone the rest of it. But you're pretty sure you might be able to like kick on the engines far enough to like make the back end kind of open like a door and like clear the south side of the scrap to give you guys enough space to climb through. It wouldn't make it fly, but it would move the propeller and have it like clear the way, if that makes sense. So there's multiple paths forward through this obstacle.
We prefer to do that instead of risking the ghost.
I think
Watch
we're
Annie.
going to risk the ghost either way.
We can always just climb it.
I'm surprised this thing could even still run at all after 30 years. Ah, that's why. Toyota. Makes sense.
If you guys want to look for the ghost, you are welcome to try. You guys want to take 10 minutes? You can do it. Give me a search/perception as you search for any signs of a ghost here on the ship.
I think rather I'm going to look over to how... What was the name of the person who owned this ship?
Her name
Phasmophobia.
was. It was Farrah Winslow, the fair Farrah Winslow. It's the old captain.
The fair Farrah Winslow. Is there
Give
a
us a
response?
sign.
Are you here?
Do I have my temperature gun?
Right in the fucking book.
So
Right
you're
in
saying,
the book.
describe to me, like, not just what you're saying, but like, what are you doing with your movement? Where are you standing? Where in the ship are you, like, talking, etc.? Like, what is Saruk? How is he?
Saruk is just with, and if you think this is too much knowledge for me to have, or you want me to like religion about it, let me know. But if it's something that is haunted or a physical entity that is tied here, I'm hoping I can say something that is very intrinsic to the nature of their death to make them manifest. As opposed to them manifesting when we're trying to climb up the side of this fucking thing.
Right. So where on the ship are you trying to manifest it, right? You stand. Let's just say you call out from like a safe distance and there's no response. Nothing happens from like 30, 40 feet away.
I see. Okay. So then from where the token is, if I made a like 30-foot cone, it would go over this part of the ship, just like shouting it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think then, so while Saruk, let's just say Saruk is doing this, you're kind of going and like trying to get any attention you can from the ship. You're starting on one side and sweeping. At first, like for the first few minutes, nothing's happening. What is everyone else doing in this sort of exploration moment?
Could I take the eagle eye potion?
Yeah.
And before doing my perception check.
Yeah, you want to pop open. What was it? It was like literally like a sparrow eye in something. Pinch your nose and drink it. Yeah, go ahead and drink it. Add the effect to your token and make your perception check.
If he's backing
Wild,
up.
we're actually burning our consumables as opposed to
Right.
leaving them at the bottom of the loot. I never see that. This is wild.
What if we need the
breaking your hand.
See, the problem is, what if we get to the last boss
We're gonna need that
and that's the
perception
potion
check.
we need?
Damn it!
You guys have made a friend in Monty.
We got two though, right?
You can come back and buy potions from her whenever you want in the future too.
Nice.
Right? She's your friend now. As long as you
Use Marge
guys don't die and she doesn't die.
I used it.
Okay.
Refi is backing up, because how the fuck do you shoot a ghost?
Mm-hmm.
With a gun, typically.
A 15.
15 with a +1 more on your perception checks, so 16 with your eagle eye potion. So you're scanning, looking for anything secret, hidden, any kind of ghost haunt. You don't see anything, Anita. And what about Hal?
What the hell are you looking for, Anita? Miss Mendoza, what are you looking for?
Miss Mendoza.
Yes, Miss Mendoza.
I don't know. They said there's a ghost. I've never seen one. I was hoping that
I'm gonna look around for the ghosts too.
All right. Should we back up? I mean, a ghost's scary. I only know them from stories.
Yes.
Yeah. So should we back up?
I'll look for the ghost as well.
Yeah, you can make a perception check too. And so Saruk is about to get to the point where something's going to happen. 12. Okay. Nice look in there, Hal. You guys are all just like, yeah, there's no sign of a ghost. And Saruk, you're kind of scanning, you're talking, you step to like right around this square and you call out over here. And as you do, there's finally a reaction. And it's where the engine block is. This smoke that's been pouring out, the thing it looks like it's working. A loud whistle sort of goes off, like a high-pitched train whistle that fills so loud, everything in the whole scrapyard can hear it, probably for miles around. People can hear this like loud train whistle goes off. And as it does, the smoke sort of belches forth, and you see like out of the smoke, this spirit-type creature falls out of the engine block up into the air, and it looks like it's attached to the engine itself. So I'm going to show the art for this because it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Wait, what was the token's name?
Ghostly robot.
It's called Lonely Machine Spirit.
Yeah, close enough.
Whoa.
So it's a ghost, but in maybe what you're not used to or what you don't expect to see, Saruk, especially with your religion knowledge, it's not like a humanoid ghost. It's literally the ghost of what appears to be a robot of some sort, which shouldn't really make sense. And on the backside, it's like a propeller, and it flies with the little propeller as the ghost sort of howls out in anger. it's gonna do this sort of the reaction it does when you trigger it is this sort of whistle. Everyone within 30 feet is gonna have to make a fortitude save, which is only Saruk because everyone else backed up.
I am a brave boy.
Okay.
I'm a brave boy who will use his hero point.
I was just
All
saying,
right. Use a hero point. One of your two, right? You had two. So is this one?
Yeah.
All right. Let's use it.
Oh, using a hero point.
Hero point.
Nice. Slightly better, but probably not enough.
Not enough is still a fail. So as the whistle goes off, you do take, oh, look at that, double ones,
Nice.
2 points of sonic damage, and it appears like in front of you, right? We are sort of in this sort of back and forth between you and the creature. I will say, it does appear to be this sort of haunt thing you were expecting. And
Okay.
so now, as you said, right, these things are tied here with some sort of like something really important in this space is what has tied it here. And based on the story from Monzi and what you know, it's tied to this engine block. So you need to exorcise the spirit from the engine block. And you're pretty sure, since you know the name of the captain, using that will infer a huge bonus to sort of exorcising that spirit. So, would you
Nice.
like to exorcise this
Need a
creature?
freeze.
We gotta take the spirit to the temple of Torog. But also, yes.
Or some Doomba.
So you have some religious training. Out of everyone in this crew, you're probably the only man for this job. And with assuming you use the Pharaoh Winslow name, you can go ahead and take a +4 circumstance bonus to this roll.
Nice.
Nice. Okie dokie.
And explain like maybe role play like what you're saying, and then we'll make the roll and see how it works.
In the name.
So
of-
the thing manifests. Saruk's ears begin to bleed. I put my multi-pistol at my hip because I don't think it's going to be useful, and just continue walking forward. I'm so sorry, what was the name one more time?
Pharaoh Winslow.
The
Pharaoh
Pharaoh
Winslow.
Winslow.
A fair Pharaoh Winslow. It's not a
That's-
fantasy name, so it doesn't stick in my head. So just
will
walking
also-
forward, just Pharaoh Winslow.
The whistle also makes you stunned 1 on the first turn, but we're kind of in the cinematic moment, so you have enough mind faculty to still do this, right? But you can feel it's like it's affected your mind in like an otherworldly way.
Hacha!
Pharaoh Winslow. Get some
There should be
sage.
a +4 on that. I forgot to
Plus
click
4.
on the thing. So 19.
For a total of 19, it actually is still a failure.
Oh.
Damn.
Mm.
So you kind of walk forward as you call out to it. It's like looks at you and says, "Where is my Farah?" And it like shoots a red hot gear, flies out of the engine block in your direction, and it makes a red hot gear strike against you, Saruk. Total is an 18.
Yeah, it'll definitely hit.
Okay, then you take total of 6 points of damage. 4 of it is bludgeoning and 2 of it is fire. As the gear hits you and you feel it sizzle where it hits you and it tumbles to the side. Now, I want to give a moment here because we're sort of in this back and forth between these two entities. Are the rest of you guys just kind of like sitting on the side, or you guys
Can
want
I
to help jump
aid?
in?
Reffy, it's a ghost!
Can I
Flees back to the
'cause,
goblins.
I see Saruk. First of all, Anita is absolutely fucking stunned. It's like it's actually fucking real. And then she notices that that Saruk's just yelling out her name. So and then he failed. So in her mind, she's like, maybe more people need to say her name out loud. So if I yell it out, would that give him would that be enough to aid? Just be like, Pharaoh Winslow, Pharaoh Winslow, Pharaoh Winslow.
So we can make that into a sort of aid check. You might aid and help, you might hinder and hurt, right? Depending on your roll.
Yeah.
Can't hurt worse than the flaming hot gears.
Let me just double check.
Because I'd use it with my.
The +4
Plum
bonus
seed.
you're already getting is a circumstance bonus, and the 8 is also a circumstance bonus, so it won't stack. But I will say this:
Okay.
you're looking like what you're trying to do is eject the spirit from the engine. You look at this less on a religious sense and more in a mechanical sense as you eye the engine block. If you were to run up, you might be able to like physically eject the creature out of the engine.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Kind of ties into what I was gonna do.
Okay.
I would have pulled my gun. Can't fucking shoot a ghost. What do I shoot at? Annie, what do I shoot at?
Not the engine block. We need to fly this thing. But try the engine block.
No,
Guys, I told you how it is.
Yeah. So I will say this: even on this check, just as you're calling out Farah's name, you get a +4 circumstance bonus as you try to like eject it from the engine too, Anita. So let's start with that roll. Anita runs up. You're within the range of these hot gears that are going to be coming next round. You run up to the engine and you start fiddling with gears. Now you don't have engineering lore. I will allow a crafting check in its place with a slightly higher DC, but you can get a +4 circumstance bonus thanks to knowing the spirit's name. As you guys keep calling out the name, you can tell like every time you say the name, it reels back and it's affecting it, right? It's bringing it back to like you're helping bridge that gap to like eject it by using this name.
26.
Nice.
That's gonna do it. So you run up, you go to the engine block. You start fiddling with things. It looks at you. You can see it get angry. You can see the gear in front of you, a red hot gear that's in the engine, starts spinning and burning, and it's gonna fly at your face. And you pull a lever, and comically, the whole ghost gets sucked in and like bounces around the inside of the engine block and out the back. It just shoots out like, and it like gets sucked in the engine, bounces around out the tailpipe, and you just hear like, "Thank you," as it like goes up in the air and it fades out. And you've exercised the lonely machine spirit by using crafting because it's a mechanical creature, right? It's not just a humanoid creature. It's a very unorthodox method of exorcism, and yet it works.
Yes, we can fly the motherfucking ship.
I think there are many steps before it's going to fly.
You still want me to shoot the engine?
No, not anymore, Rafi. She's out.
Reffy thinks for a moment how badly this could go, picturing Anita at the wheel of this like out of control airship, like destroying the city. Thinks about shooting the engine, and then holsters his gun.
Sorry, another child emergency. Okay. Okay. So we've exercised the spirit. The ghost in the machine is gone. Out the back. Great job.
So now that thing is gone, Reffy, do you think Anita can like move this thing out of the way?
If it's mechanical, she can get it working. For that,
Even
I
if
have
it's
no
like
doubt.
a ghost, she can get it working.
I mean,
it seems like.
Right. I didn't even know. I thought you had to be, like, fleshy to
Right.
be able to create a ghost. That's what I
thought
always
thought
heard.
too. Maybe Anita's secret weapon, since she can now control mechanical ghosts.
I mean, anything mechanical, and he's pretty much got it
Yeah,
covered.
said that. All right, let's see if she needs any help. Come on.
Right.
Nose deep into this engine block.
Saruk probably is too.
Okay.
Come on, Saruk, I have a light.
I don't need the light, but I appreciate it.
Alright.
Without the engineering lore, we are using crafting. It's the same thing. You can do it. It's just a little harder. Engineering lore makes it easier on the roll. But go ahead if you want to try to work the engines and get this thing to move. Give me a crafting check.
I'm gonna aid Anita.
All right. Okay.
In
17.
theory.
17. Not enough to give an aid here, but Anita, go ahead and make your crafting check with no discernible bonus.
I have one more hero point.
Okay.
So I rolled an 18, but I'd like to use a hero point.
11 on the dice. Let's use that hero point.
You sure? And it would be. I was almost a 16. A 13.
Okay. So you guys spend the better part of like 15, 20 minutes fiddling with this thing. You're close, Anita. You feel that this is not beyond your capabilities. It's just really old and busted, and maybe the ghost has messed with it a little bit. Interestingly enough, too, after the ghost was gone, the smokiness is completely gone. There's no more smoke coming off it, and it's cool to the touch, like it hasn't been running. The whole sort of effect of being the smoky running engine was all part of the haunt in the first place. So maybe it's just cold. Maybe you got to warm it up a little bit before it'll get going, like a lawnmower. Give it a nice hard pull, right?
Could I use like one of the oil pints to help me with this check?
Sure.
Would that? Yeah. Would that give me like a bonus?
I'll give you a +1 item bonus from the oil.
All right.
I
So
have
glad
no
you
doubt
said
in your
item bonus.
abilities.
It wasn't a critical fail or anything. You just regular failed, so you know.
All right.
Just don't
so
critically
plus
fail.
1 with oil.
I'm gonna 8 again.
Yep. Let's make that 8 again. 20. Perfect.
Hey, there we
You
go.
get the
Nice.
+1 item bonus
go.
and the +1 circumstance bonus.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. Zaddy. 23.
Very Chrysler.
All right, 23. So putting your minds together using the oil and warming the engine up, it does work. So
Yes.
let's watch this awesome macro.
Oh, is it gonna fly? Where is it?
So you turn it on, right? The engine starts kicking and the propeller's in the back, but it's on its side. So the propeller starts hitting the ground and the dirt and the scrap metal, and right, and it like sort of really haphazardly like pivots around the front end as the propeller drags it across the like scrapyard floor. You guys have to back up so the giant propeller blades don't chop you up, and it's very loud as a and it kind of crashes into that northern edge of the scrap pile and leaves a big sort of rut in the ground. And then as it gets over there, it sputters out, and then the engine dies again. But you have successfully,
Scrolled to the left and seen things.
Yes.
Oh god.
So, how do I?
Watch out.
Couldn't even
Knowles.
see it.
You weren't fucking kidding.
Knowles.
Oh, I gotta do that. So with the pathway
Boss is
open,
busy.
and here's the thing: this was super loud, right? And it took a few moments to happen. As the whole thing's turning, you guys turn and look. There's a campfire on the other end that comes into focus, and there's 4 gnolls that are just sitting around the campfire, and they have kind of on the spigot over their fire what looks like a small dog of some sort, like a small dog-sized creature roasting on the fire. And all of them turn and look in your direction as the
How
engine
dare
goes, right? And you lock eyes from a pretty far distance away, right? Like about 120 feet away from the nearest gnoll. They look at you and they like grab their weapons and like they're like standing ready for you as there's like right in this tense moment between you and them, a tumbleweed blows between the two camps. You can see now they absolutely are mutated. One of them has like a second head that flops below the neck. It doesn't look functional, but it's there. Another one has like a third arm that kind of comes around the back. Some of them have an eye like in the middle of their forehead and like a closed over eye socket where one would be. These are definitely the mutated mana waste type things that you've seen from long exposure to the Mana Storms, Hal.
Sorry,
Yeah.
wrong scrapyard, and we put the ship back and close it.
We're here to talk to you about your blimp's extended warranty.
Is that a dog?
Saruk draws his
What are you guys
multi-pistol in his
looking at?
ranged mode.
Anita's so
Hal
confused because everyone's
Draws
like,
his boat pistol.
Well, if you step
And a
over a little bit,
sword.
Anita, you can see because there is a campfire where they are putting light on them. So Hal, the dog is the thing that pushed it over the edge for you, Hal?
Yes, it
I guess
is.
that makes sense. That
Do
does
we
make
have
sense.
time between, oh god, the rotary blade's gonna cut us in half, and oh god, the bad guys to maybe eat a cockroach or two?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing took like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to sort of move its way over, which gives you guys some time to prepare. Because
These are
you would
so
have
nice.
noticed the campfire and the knolls coming up before the whole thing shifted, so you had some time to get prepared. But yeah, I mean,
Like how much?
About 30 seconds.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna treat you.
No, it doesn't take quite that long. But like they howl, they're like battle cries. They are now excited for even more meat on the menu, and it seems like this is about to come to blows. So we can go ahead and roll initiative.
Just prepare.
So
Can
what-
I ask Hal if he can put my ever burning torch at like Hal? Could you put my torch in like your belt hoop or something? Because I have no.
Zaruk
I thought you were gonna say.
I literally.
would. Can you hold on to this?
Belt
I see
hoop!
your hands are full. Here.
You're making me put my
Belt
water
hoop!
out.
Go with the edge.
No, your bow!
Zaruk will put the ever-burning torch in the holster feels wrong, but where the mace normally hangs.
Alright.
All right, if you want to give him the item, or I guess I can drag it between the characters. It's pretty easy. So I don't think I have that module enabled. I'll put. I'll put
Siri said. Sorry. He was
I feel like rolling crafting for initiative feels like the right thing to do here.
Wow.
I feel like these are also that lead I'm pursuing. The gnolls!
absolutely one of your is absolutely a lead for sure.
How about he likes you when you're 23?
Perception.
I can't
for
roll
initiative.
for my initiative.
You can't roll? How come?
Oh, I'm here.
I don't see the carousel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I had to repop out the encounter tracker for
No,
interesting.
why did I roll high? 22. Oh, okay, yeah, I had to click it again.
Weird, I
Those
wonder
dice
why I
are
did
good.
that.
I have dice like that IRL.
Okay, well,
Your dice looks really
the
nice.
Knolls, the Knolls got a 23, and ties go to the Knolls. So I think they all are. There's no stealthy element here. It's just like a wide open shot. So I think they're all holding like this sort of almost like a little club type sap thing, and they I guess they just charge. So they have a movement speed of 25. So each one of them will 3 action sprint the distance to close the distance on you guys.
Man, I'm so happy they didn't have bows.
Right? Yeah, they do not look like they have any like bow in their hand or anything like that. All right, but that's 3 actions as this pack of like howling hyenas in their battle frenzy come running your way. Saruk.
Alrighty, untap upkeep. What does the
Let's
dice
go.
say?
Black Lotus.
Says bad times.
Yep, an 11.
God, we wish.
It's not in
Oh,
your. It's
God.
not in your. Not a good roll. Put it that way.
Not good. So then, rather than targeting that one, I think instead, Saruk is going to try to remember how to. Is it like this? I'm trying to remember how to measure tokens. So I'd have to go 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm just going to stride to here and raise my shield.
Okay. Stride forward. Shield goes up.
And that'll do it.
All right. Anita. I'm trying to fix camera issues on my end at the same time running the combat. Anita.
Alright, so. Little prefer. Okay, so with my short bow, I'm gonna try and. I don't have a clear shot on either. Do I have a clear shot on this fellow? No.
Steven Stereo.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. From where you are, no, it would be a +1 circumstance bonus.
Alright, never mind. I would like to move so that I could get a clear shot on one of them. So I'll move here and I will take a shot with my crossbow at this knoll.
Crossbow or
Sorry,
short?
short bow.
Short bow.
My bad.
Okay, go for it.
So that would be a natural one. I miss Wybert. And
No,
then,
Wybert fails in chat, or Anita fails in chat.
and then I would. For my third action, I'm gonna aid the next person that'll attack.
Okay. How are you aiding? Like, what are you using to aid?
I will take a cue from Ruffy's toolset and do a feint attack.
Okay. Very cool. That brings us to Halbrent.
Oh, so Hal's got his coat pistol out. I don't know what this does, but it's out. And then
you are
he's
in dim
going
light
to-
at this point. If you wanted to do your sneaky thing, you're far enough away from Saruk at least. But
I don't think so. I'm gonna move up here.
okay.
Wait, is that where I want to go? Where
Not
was
in
I?
front. Not in front of me.
Not in front of him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Oh, there's pigeons here in the scrapyard.
I'm gonna move up one more to get into range, and I'm gonna take a shot with my coat pistol.
All
at
right.
This person right here.
Would that be an attack roll from
It
me?
is an attack roll.
Yeah. So you want to aid on this one? You can make your deception check, Anita.
Okay. Well,
This is what their kind of token art they give me. This is sort of mutated, crazy null.
Oh my god, that is the coolest
like-
thing since that goblin.
Natural
Oh!
20!
Natural 20 deception. That's going to give Hal a +2 circumstance bonus on your strike. Oh, well,
That's
18 is a
gonna
hit.
be An 18.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's- Hit, not a crit. They're not very heavily armored, right? They're agile and they're wearing leather. 2 points of damage. Bing! Little coat pistol goes. Pew.
I look over my shoulder and say, "You're gonna have to tell me where you got that gun, Refcule." That's my turn.
Did you have a third? Did you have a third action?
I had to move up twice.
Oh, you had to move up twice. Got it. Okay. Refugule.
I draw my pistol.
Mhm.
I will step 10 feet,
10 paces.
right, and yell back to Hal. I don't think you want to pay the price for this pistol. And I will shoot at the closest knoll.
Okay. You got all those Anita crits in chat. That's right. I didn't call it out. You got a natural 20 crits in chat. Go, Refi. Let's see. Another natural 20, maybe? Not quite?
Not quite.
It spun up.
I
Hero point.
don't have any.
I'm sure you did use one.
I'm going to second action use my Recontours reload,
Okay.
and I would like to make an intimidation check against the first one.
All right. So we're using the
That was a
demoral.
warning shot. Next one goes through your heart.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, demoralize. Intimidation check. Go ahead and make a demoralize.
Ooh.
It
11.
was almost an 18.
Also, a demoralized check has to be within 30 feet of you.
Fair enough.
Interestingly enough, that seems short, but either way, an 11's not enough to beat their will DC. So
I still say what I say.
you still say what you
The
say.
reload.
Yeah.
Um,
At least they're
and
not
then-
immune for the first time to your ability.
right.
It just
Third action, I will also aid in Saruk's attack, the feint attack.
Okay.
While I go change my dice again.
All right. Well, the clash is coming. So this one action to move up into range. Actually, they're gonna do something a little different. No, that's fine. This one runs up here and is gonna clash with Saruk. So one action to stride into range. Second action, is going to, and now it's up close, you can see it's covered in like these gross pustules and disgusting boils and sores, Saruk, right up on you, and it comes with its jaws and tries to strike you with its jaws. A 15 misses because of the raised shield. Your shield comes up and deflects against the jaws. And then with its third and final action, it uses its third action to kind of bring the like sort of sap it has and try to like kind of clobber you in the back of your head with a multiple attack penalty. 10 misses. All right. This one here behind, you watch as he like kind of goes to his side and he pulls a little bola like off of his hip and picks it up and starts like flailing it over the top of his head and is going to attempt to do a ranged trip onto Saruk.
I was afraid of that.
So, this is going to be an athletics check.
My goodness.
Do I perhaps get a bonus for cover?
It's weird because it's not an attack roll. Yeah, I'll give you a +1 circumstance bonus. 15.
With a +1 circumstance bonuses causes that to just fail.
Right, so it bounces off his ally, and the bowl like skips down the middle of the scrapyard and just misses. And then kind of curses his luck, and then with his third and final action, will come up here and engage between you and Hal. This one back here will move up 25 feet. Same thing. Second action pulls the bola out. Third action, ranged trip on the Hal. So that's going to be a athletics check against Hal. 10, not even close. It hits your leg and wraps around it, and you just kind of like look down and like kick it free, right? Not even close to like having enough force. And then this one stride to here, second stride gets to here. And with his third action, he's gonna target Saruk with another jaw strike. 12's gonna miss.
Nice.
All right.
Bobbing
Not
weeds,
much
Saruk.
damage. Saruk, you're kind of surrounded.
Tap up, keep devices strut! Going at the one in front of me. I will take the 19, so they're running past. The first one comes up to try to bite into Saruk, and like Saruk gets the shield up under, like somewhere in the mouth-ish to hold it in place and keep it from biting, and then when the sap comes over and there's a bit of exposed arm, gritting his teeth and clenching his jaw very hard so not to taste this, just like leans in and tries to like go for the veins on the wrist. I will take a 19. Doth it hit?
It hits.
Nice. And devising a stratagem, we're using, in fact, our... I don't know if Richard wants to say it or me, but... My tusks!
So 5 points of damage. Hurts.
Right.
Yes.
No, go ahead. I guess so. I wouldn't really need to do a feint attack with your devise a stratagem then.
I guess technically you could... It's awkward. You could have made it one higher, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So as you bite into this creature, it like kind of writhes in pain away from you, and as it struggles, like your shield kind of hits some of the pustules on the chest, and it explodes and boils just by being hit with a melee attack. The pus sprays over the melee attacker. I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Yeah. It's also afraid of that.
17, perfect.
So that was you rolled for your own monster.
Oh, yeah, right. I clicked the wrong thing. I tried to put it in chat, but I clicked it. Okay. So
Oh, wait, do they also
Nope.
hurt themselves? Jesus.
that'd be
I mean, I totally had a 17. It's fine.
14
It's
is,
me.
14 is a success. You get out of the way as the like thing splashes out of the way. You're good. You don't take any
Nice.
acid damage. But it's still standing.
Excellent. And then third action is to keep my shield somewhere in its mouth where it cannot bite me. And then last turn.
Okay. Now, I will say, one of your actual leads was these gnolls, right? I think Devise a Stratagem is free when it's on your
You know what? Devise a
target.
Stratagem is free when it's against. I'm said, you know, I'm gonna from a second action instead. I'm gonna hit this dude with my tusks. But
Kill
I'll
him!
devise a stratagem.
I haven't used my reaction yet, so now I'll use it.
Okay. So you make a deception.
Feint attack.
Yep.
The foe Noel flinched.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
For sure, that's a success. So you get a +1 circumstance bonus to your attack.
Circumstance +1 added for mod. I have to put something in there. Okay, so just making sure I have all of this correct.
I know you did
do.
try to reload because you did the Raconter's reload, but
Yeah, I did. I see the icon now.
Ooh.
Does a 15 hit him?
15 hits.
Nice. They take considerably less damage, but also more. 7 damage.
Yeah, so that's fine. It's gonna hit. I need another reflex save from the acid pus
Blah. Gross.
as you're biting into these pustules. Natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely no damage. And when it takes that last bit of damage, this one is dead.
Crits in the chat for Saru.
Yeah, Sarut crits in chat, everyone.
Turn towards the rest of them, shield turning their direction.
Okay.
Just kind of like, as the shield comes up, wipe some of the gore off of my tusks, and that is me.
The fact that you could bite into it and not take any damage from the acid splashback is what a natural 20 is all about.
Well, I mean, I'm not biting their tusks. I just have to. I have
That's-
2 daggers which grew out of me.
That's
for
true.
beating
That's
people.
true. Anita.
All right, I would like to hit this one with my short bow. I'll try for my first action.
Okay.
That would be a 12. I'm not
12
meant to
misses.
fight. Let's see. How could I help everyone? Ba-da-ba-bum. I got no materials. Dun, dun. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna try again.
Okay. Multiple attack penalty.
Oh wait, no. Could I try and can I see first if I can? No, I can.
What are you trying to do?
I'll try it again. I'll try hitting it again.
Okay. Multiple attack penalty.
Come on.
That shot.
Hey, it's an 18. A flat
an
18.
And 18 hits.
Sweet.
We got it. We got a hit from Anita. 2 points of damage.
That's a 2. Oh shit.
Luckily, at range, there's no acid. There's no pus splashback.
Oh, okay. Third attack, I will aid by saying, "Oi, I'm sure we could talk this out." Using diplomacy for my aid action.
Okay.
All right.
What language
That's
are you
the end
speaking
of
in?
They're gnolls, but they dealt with the goblins. I mean,
Celestial.
Boom.
What goblin? I guess.
Want to try Goblin? Okay. Yeah, we'll try Goblin. Hal.
All right, Tal's gonna drop his pistol, grab onto this knoll, raise his sword, and bring it down.
Okay. That is okay. And so, do you have one hand pistol, one hand sword going into the fight? And you just drop the pistol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He is flanked because the the 2 allies providing flat-footed condition. So he's flat-footed. You can go ahead and make your strike.
Do I get to aid?
Yeah, you can make the
Mind.
aid, Anita. Your aid goes off. You can make a diplomacy roll. It's going to be at -4. They don't understand Goblin.
There must be a mistake. That's the language my food speaks.
-4, 17.
Oh, it still
Really?
helps.
Mm.
Oh, that's not with the -4. Sorry, that was just the straight
No,
roll.
that
So
is the
17.
line. 17, yeah.
So 17, yeah. So it doesn't help, but Hal, with your 27 on the dice, that is
That's
a crit. Crits in chat, roll crit damage.
Come on, now.
Ooh, 16
Nice.
damage. This thing had no chance. Completely decimates it. The splashback of the pus. You need to make a reflex save, Hal.
That's an 18.
No problem. You avoid all of the splashback.
Second action, I'm going to move up
Okay.
to right here next to... And
Yep.
I'm going to attack this one here right next to Saruk.
This one's also flat-footed.
Map attack. Roll. That's a 3, so that misses.
A 7 is not going to hit, unfortunately.
It's alright, you killed one in one blow, so.
That's my turn.
Okay. Reficule.
Alright, I'm going to shoot the one here. Is he considered flat-footed to everybody, or just to the people flanking?
Just to the people flanking.
Right. I'll still shoot him.
He would be flat-footed because I snagging strike him.
No, you
But
didn't.
you
hit,
missed.
You did,
I
and then he
missed.
died.
I killed the other guy.
though.
My
You
bad.
did kill him.
snagged right off. You snagged one head off, and all he has now is his little second floppy head.
Well, I mean, he would be flat-footed, right? Because he's prone and dead. So
Yes?
Yes.
Just shoot the body a bunch.
you're not technically wrong.
Good call.
Alright.
Let's see.
At least it's a hit.
A 14 is a hit, yeah. Not a crit, but it is a hit.
Jeez.
Your dice, man, not feeling it tonight.
That's
Okay.
2 points of damage.
2 points of damage.
I'm going to stride
Okay.
next to Annie for my second action. Third action, Reconters reload. And
Yep.
I'm going to try intimidation. Just with the gun though. Just like point it at him. Like again. More of a gesture.
Okay.
Intimidation.
Okay.
If you'll allow it.
So, demoralize.
Wait,
is-
do you have to have a feat for that?
your feat allows you
Probably.
to demoralize. You don't get you don't take a penalty for speaking the language. If you're not speaking a language, or if you're doing something that's not language based, you take the -4 penalty regardless. So you do the gesture. If you want to try speaking while you do it, I'll let you make a straight roll. What language? Depending on what language you pick. It's a little weird that this, pointing a gun at someone absolutely is like a universal language in a way, but there are feats that allow you to do that. So if you don't have it,
I really only speak Common in one other language, so
Perfect. Common works.
I'll use Common.
In one other language, wink. Yeah, Common works. It speaks of Common, so you can make a straight intimidation check.
All right. Say, you want to end up like your friend? There. You might want to run.
Harvey, I don't
And,
think they'd understand you.
So let me make that intimidation check.
This is against their will. The will DC. Man, the dice are not your friend tonight.
It was almost a 17, and I'm going to change my dice again.
He
And that's
looks
my
at
turn.
you and he goes, "What?" Yes, it didn't work.
Change
Uh,
browser.
It's it's the accent.
Right. He does become. These guys do get their turn. I think this one here is going to step around. You make the swing and you miss Hal, and he uses that like momentum to step to flank you with his ally, and then he's going to target you with a jaw strike.
Hello?
18.
18 hits Hal.
Okay. So 18, it's going to be 3 points of piercing damage. And then, I guess third action will be another jaw strike with a penalty. 18 hits for another 1 point of piercing damage. This one over here, now that you're flanked, he's gonna try to. He uses his like extra like big tentacle arm and tries to sweep your leg and tries to knock you prone. So this will be a 17. Now I forget, is trip against reflex or fortitude? I think it's reflex, right?
Mm.
Okay, so what's your reflex?
Both are plus 7, so 17.
Meets you, so that's all it needs. So it knocks you and you fall prone. So I'll put the prone condition on Hal. You guys watch as Hal gets swept to the ground. And then with his second action, he takes a multiple attack penalty jaw strike against you. 15.
Still misses. Or hit by 0. Plus 0?
It hit because of the
Because you're
flat-footedness.
flat-footed.
Yeah, and the proneness, but the flat-footedness. So 2. And then I mean, it doesn't have a lot. I guess it'll just try to use its sap for its third and final action. 6. Nope. All right, Saruk.
Okie doke. Gotta devise a stratagem.
All right, it's gonna be a 15.
I'm gonna use my hero point. Yeah, I have one more. I'm gonna get real greedy.
All right, 25.
I do
Nice.
considerably like a 25 better. Targeting the one. I should have declared that before I said I was doing the thing. Fuck. I guess the one over on Saruk's left.
Okay.
Presuming that a 25 is a critical hit, I would like to shoot him with my gun.
You pull out the gun, you fire. A 25 is a critical hit.
Nice. Okie doke. Checking all of the things. Big, deadly, or fatal dice is big.
Ooh.
17 points of damage.
Let's see those Saruk crits in chat.
Yes, Saruk crits in chat. Yeah, the mace pistol comes up, blam, just completely decimates it in one shot.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna, I think, second action. Oh, God. I guess we're gonna. Or rather, first action. Or no, I had that right.
Yeah, you
Math
got it
with your friends is fun. I'm gonna. I don't want to. It's like I could get in a flank, but I don't want to block the ranged characters. So I think I'm just gonna, for my second action,
You can block me, that's fine.
Reffy might shoot me. I'm scared. And then third action is keep my shield raised.
That's a fair fear.
Shield up. Okay, Anita.
Okay, I would try and shoot this fellow.
Okay.
I swear, he was just in the way. I wasn't aiming for him.
Pew! That's a
Oh,
nice.
there you go.
19 is a hit.
Yeah, let's go, Annie. Oh,
Nice.
You kill it.
oh.
Anita, you killed the last
Didn't
null.
do it.
Go ahead, and how do you want to do this?
How do you want to get blood on your hands?
Nervously, I try and remember the tips and tricks that not only Kojak taught me, but also of Maeve. So I take in a breath, and then on the inhale, hold it, aim, and then use all of my little tiny strength to pull on the string and shoot this fellow. Just hoping and praying it hits somewhere.
Yep. Right into the third eye that's in its forehead. And it just topples over, like right onto like Hal's prone, and it falls over like onto Hal's like prone body, and
then I look at Ruffy. Hey, did you see that, Ruffy? Did you see that?
You did good. You did bloody good.
I still miss Wybert.
and
Saruk will move the body off Hal and help him up.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Miss Mendoza. I said I would help you build that robot back, and I'm a man of my word. So whatever you need, you let me know. I might not have enough, but you let me know anyways. Thanks, Saruk.
I know how.
Bam.
Not a bad showing.
Woo!
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
way
you got.
better than the
You look
dogs.
around. You guys are very lightly damaged. You know, you got off pretty scot-free, and as you kind of glance down at the rest of the Knoll camp, there doesn't appear to be any other movement or any other creatures down there. It looks like perhaps you've, actually taken care of the Knoll problem after all. So that all we get is that last shot, like Hal's eyes looking at the like dog-sized roast spigot on the campfire. You're not sure it's a dog. It just looks dog-sized.
Get closer. Take a look. Make sure
All
it's
right.
not Sil.
Oh yeah. You moving closer. Definitely not Sil. It doesn't look. It looks too big to be Sil. So if Sil was here outside in the Manaways, like far from town, it'd be pretty bad. You're safe. It's not Sil. I'm not that mean. But you as you kind of like look, you see like behind like the crates, there's sort of a trash pile full of like bones, and not only like animal sized bones, human sized bones, and discarded, picked clean. These gnolls have been feasting on whatever creatures and meat they could get their hands on for however long they've been set up here. Humans, pets, stray animals, goblins, you name it, they eat it. And for now, it appears you've at least avenged this poor spit roasted dog.
Y'all did a good thing, because you look over here and it's every kind of creature, person, or anything else you could see they've been eaten. So I don't see anything else. Maybe we should head to the sewer. Do you think we can get there by now and make it to Phoebe's by the time the sun comes out?
We should
I think
run
so.
I should let Glass know that is probably.
Yeah.
What am I saying?
yeah.
I'll go start walking back towards the goblin camp.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we still got all the treasure. Can I loot the goblins' body? The gnolls' bodies? Is there?
We're gonna
Jesus.
loot the goblins as
You
well.
kill one thing and your whole person can also get it from the goblins, Reffy.
So each gnoll has like a sap, one of these bolas. Each one has two of these bolas
Oh.
you can throw if you want to range trip on things.
Ooh,
And
bolas.
also they have like a sort of patchy leather armor that you could take. So anything on their bodies that you want to take, feel free to loot. You should be able to drag off their bodies to your token, I think. Right? You can loot their bodies.
Take a bolo.
Okay. And
Hold
so
I can't see anything.
yeah, so Rook starts heading back towards the goblin camp, and it looks like there are tents. You haven't gone through their tents. They might have more belongings here, in their like storage that they don't keep on their body. But we have Anita picking through the things. Maybe somebody else going through the tents, and Saruk heading back towards the goblin camp to tell them the null situation's been dealt with. And I think that's when the camera sort of pulls up out of the scrapyard a bit, and we can see just how much this place has changed. The giant airship is now cleared and pushed against this northern stack. The pond is drained. The giant metal box has crushed the grate, destroyed the Rust Ooze, or at least kicked it down the drain for somebody else to deal with down the line. And the goblins see kind of you coming and have heard all this loud noise going on, and they all like patiently like await Saruk coming, and they're like bracing for the good news. And the last thing we see is like very close. It's like the shield marshals just keep working, and it looks like we hear one of them basically say like, "We'll be through in 30 minutes. What was that eerie train whistle in the middle of a scrapyard?" And like the orcish woman's like, "They say this place is haunted." And they both kind of look up, and we see like the moon in the sky, and that's when we fade out to black for this week's episode.
Nice.
Hey.
You
It
survived.
was really nice to end a session on a combat that looks awkwardly over it where that lake was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Feels
Mhm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I know we started rolling decently at that end
Mhm.
combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say Reffy actually looking a bit angry walks away from the group, and you see him turn away, and he's just fiddling with something on his face.
Do I see this?
Probably.
I'll ask him about it next week.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us this week in Alkenstar. Big thanks to Ninna, Richard, Rick, and Tommy. Thanks for playing with me. It's been fun night, as always. Enjoyed seeing you guys. Yeah, hi, Tommy. It's been fun watching you guys actually kick butt in the combat. You know what I mean?
Again, the last time was
For
during
sure.
the prologue.
Well,
I
most.
think I'm still learning Saruk's like how he functions in combat, and I felt way better like just being up in the thick as opposed to just like, well, I hope Hal doesn't die. Shoot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Those of us who could roll
Me too.
above, like a 10.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, change your
falling
browser.
you're falling back into your Mukta pattern, so we got to fix
Mm-hmm.
that. But I want to take a quick moment to give a huge thanks to our patrons who support us on Patreon. Big thanks to David Sims, Derek Brewer, and a new name this week, Sandra Wagner. Sandra.
Hey.
A lady.
Nice.
Thank you, David,
Thank
Derek,
you.
and Sandra.
Yeah, thanks for supporting and making a lot of this possible. If you're interested in supporting what we do here, head on over to patreon.com to recall knowledge. You can get some of those maps we were talking about earlier. We released Map Pack, early releases of these episodes before they hit YouTube fully, and private access to some cool channels, and you can talk with us more directly on our Discord. If you're not on our Discord, also head over and join, even if you're not on Patreon, but you should do both because
Really helps out. Thank you.
it helps us out. Yeah, thank you guys for making a lot of this possible. Your support goes a long way into funding everything we do on this channel. Big thanks, Molten Hosting, for providing our serving hosting. We didn't shout them out at the top of the show, but thank you, Molten Hosting. Use the referral code Recall Knowledge. That's one word. And you get a first month free of service. And also big thanks to the Rollsmith for returning as a sponsor tonight and a battle sponsor.
Rawhide.
And you need to release a dice that will allow Reficule to hit crits, or at least anything over a 10 will take.
Just every number is a 20 on the D20.
Who put 2020s on? Wow, this is.
How about we do 10 20s and 10 1s?
I mean, 50%
I
of the
could just
time it
flip a
works all the
coin.
time.
Yeah, I could just flip
I'll
a coin.
take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. Any other shout outs you guys like to give on the outro?
Please stay safe. Stay healthy.
Indeed.
That's your line, though, Steve.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Hi.
Dying is banned. You can't do it. I talked to the judges. They've decided to remove it from competitive play. Dying is banned.
Perfect.
I hate to inform everyone.
Take a break from doom scrolling.
Fucking God.
Yes, actually.
I
That's
say
what this
this
was,
myself.
This was-
Richard.
That's what this
Yeah.
was, yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
We all know what's happening outside in the world. Be calm, guys. I mean, we can't ignore it. It's happening. But find time in your day to be calm. Don't doom scroll. You can doom scroll again.
Be calm
There
and be
will be
kind.
more doom.
Oh, man. That's the sad part, is you're right. We will be back next week, and actually, next week's going to be June 1st. We're in June already, guys. We're like in summer.
How the fuck is it already the 6th month of the year?
Gemini
that's crazy.
babies.
Yep.
I'm not a Gemini. Well, I'm like half. Some have me
You're
Gemini,
cuspy.
some is Cancer. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cusp.
Cancer. Cancer. So next Wednesday we'll be back June 1st at 7 o'clock Pacific to play through the next session. Guys, the way it's going, I mean, we're basically to the sewers. So next week we'll finally make we'll probably be hitting level 2 by the end of we'll probably hit level 2
Yes, I'm gonna
between
plan.
not between this session and next session, but probably after the next session.
Nice.
Tonight?
But
Perfect.
yeah, right now just level up to 2. But we'll be back with more punks in the powder keg. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, don't doom scroll, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Bye, CJ. Thanks for subbing again. Woo!